Christy Bemis with you high atop the Speedway. And Christy, I know I've said it probably a million times. The older fans probably don't know what I'm saying, but another banger night at the Bloomington Speedway last night. We'll get you caught up on that one. Justin Grant started on the inside of the front row and dominated the first half of that race, but Dason Pursley hard charging on the top kind of showed Justin the line was there, and Justin took the bait, moved up to the top, and Dason Pursley went to the bottom, and he set sail from there.
Yeah, and it seems, I think that Brian kind of called that exactly as he saw it, and he was exactly right. The way that Justin was able to respond to that in victory lane after bringing home that second place finish was that he saw Dason catching him on the top, and I think no matter what was going to happen, that Dason Pursley did have a faster car, it seemed, last night, and that Justin had mentioned kind of felt like that speed was going away on the bottom, moved up to try and just block that run and hold Dason Pursley off another couple of laps, if anything else. So likely to say that Dason was going to pass the two one way or another, but a really solid night for Justin Grant and RMS Racing. He mentioned they've been on the struggle bus lately and haven't been getting the results that they've been looking for, but last night a really favorable way to get headed in the right direction.
Christy, you and I have watched Dason Pursley race for the last couple of years. I believe his first national season was 2019, 2020, roughly in there. So it feels like we've been watching Dason race for a super long time, but the kid is still so young, and that was such a veteran move. He knew he couldn't really get past Justin on the top, so he kind of baited into it, like I said. I don't think we can speak volumes enough of the maturity and racecraft Dason Pursley has at such a young age.
It was such a smart move, and Justin Grant mentioned that as well. He's like, he's a smart race car driver, he's a good race car driver, and that's why he is winning the races. That's why he's leading your Indiana Midget Week points. That's why he's leading USAC Not Starting to Drink national midget points, and I think he's even sitting second in Passing Master, which I'm not, the Pro Source Passing Master points for Indiana Midget Week, which I'm not entirely sure how that math is mathing, but somehow Richie's got it nailed down, so I know that's true. But yeah, so Dason Pursley kind of leading all the stats right now as we head into what is sort of the winding down days of Indiana Midget Week.
As the kids say, the math is mathing. And let's take a look at your top five from last night. Dason Pursley with the win. Coming into this year, Dason only had 2 national wins. He's already got 2 this year, not to mention his first Indiana Midget Week win. Justin Grant was second, first top 5 of the season. Christy, and you mentioned it. They've been on the struggle bus, and I have to imagine Dave and Lacey back in the pit area a little bit relieved, as well as Justin behind the wheel, that they've kind of got their monkey off their back in the middle of Indiana Midget Week. And it's been a bit surprising to see him take this long to get a top 5.
Hopefully they were able to kind of strip that car down and figure out what exactly the problems that were causing them so that they can separate what was different about last night at Bloomington Speedway. They did start on the front row, so certainly that helps. But even, you know, we've seen Justin Grant win races from back in the 10s and the teens, and so I'm not surprised that he was good from the front row. It does make his life a little bit easier, but there are no reasons to believe that he couldn't be competitive from back in the field, and that's just not what we've seen lately. And so hopefully they were able to sort of figure out exactly what they were missing on that car, as last night was a good opportunity to seek that out.
We'll run through the bottom half of the top 5. Rounding out the podium was Jacob Denny, tied a season best dating back to the John Hink Championship at the Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex. Logan Seavey was 4th, and Gavin Miller rounded out the top 5. Let's take a look now at your national midget points coming into tonight. Reminder, this is the national points, not the week-long Indiana Midget Week title. Dason Pursley extended that points lead by quite a big margin over Cannon McIntosh, who is 27 behind. Ryan Timms, who is now 42 behind. Logan Seavey, Zach Dahm rounding out the top 5. Justin Grant, Jacob Denny +1 last night. Ditto that for Cale Drake. Gavin Miller now breaks in the top 10 in national points, and Kyle Jones falls to 10th. And now we'll give you your Indiana Midget Week points, the title they're racing for this weekend. And shocker, Dason Pursley, after that win last night, bumps his way to the top with 232 points. Cannon McIntosh +2 last night, came into the night 4th, leaves 2nd from Bloomington. Ryan Timms down in 3rd. Justin Grant, one of the big winners. He was +5. Ditto that for Jacob Denny. Down in the 5th spot, +5. Hayden Reinbold 6th. Logan Seavey, after the struggle of a week they've been having to start Indiana Midget Week, now breaks in the top 10 in 7th. Emerson Axum, who wasn't even there last night, still in the top 10 in points. Gavin Miller 9th, and Cale Drake rounding out the top 10. Let's give you a little bit of a run of show tonight for the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. Engine heat going on the Speedway right now. We'll then get into our dirt draft high-ups, then Honest Abe roofing qualifying. Then our 4 heat races on the evening. Top 5 advance into the feature event. 6th on back will go the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Karts semi-feature. Top 4 from there will lock into tonight's 30-lap feature event. And speaking of our friends at Dirt Draft, Christy, we've been doing the whole dirt draft thing versus the drivers all week long. That's been a lot of fun. Tonight, Cannon McIntosh, who has not lost yet during Indiana Midget Week, at least when it comes to dirt draft. Here's Cannon's lineup. He's going to go against Kayla Rail, but we'll start with Cannon's lineup. He's got himself, and he keeps saying, hey, this guy hasn't let me down yet this week, so Cannon's picking himself. That strategy's been working. Kevin Thomas Jr., Cale Drake, Zach Weigel, and Steve Buckwalter Cannon's his 5 drivers with that $100,000 salary cap. Kayla Rail does not pick herself. I was a little disappointed in Kayla for that. I gave her a hard time about it back in the pits. She's got Dayson Pursley, Kevin Thomas Jr., Ethan Mitchell, and Zach Weigel, as well as Robert Carson, rounding out her field. And Christy, we talk about it all the time when we come to Tri-State Speedway, especially for the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Cars, but it's important to bring this point up too. This place is such a specialty track. Only 4 drivers in tonight's field have won a USAC National Midget race here at the class track before, and we talk about experience, how it's so important here with the sprint cars. Do you feel like it's equally important with the midgets?
I don't want to say that it's equally as important, because I do, and might just be my opinion, but I do feel like it's not quite as impactful as it is for the sprint cars for these midget drivers. They seem to have a much more level playing field here than what we see with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Cars. A handful of drivers have been able to pick up their first career win, both in the sprint cars and in the midgets, but I don't hear as much of the grievances, I suppose you could say, from the USAC National Midget drivers as I do from the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car drivers. It seems that the midget drivers are able to adapt a little bit better, and I have to think that that might have something to do with the car's dynamics. So obviously wheel spin is the thing, is the kind of the crux of the issue that the sprint car drivers run into with Tri-State Speedway, and it's just because the racetrack's prepared so well. So they struggle to get some grip. Midgets a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller. It might be a little bit easier for them to rotate the car in the corner and to pick up some grip.
There's 4 midget drivers that have won a USAC National Midget race in the pit area here tonight. Zach Dahm won a 100 way back in the day when that race was still running here at the Tri-State Speedway. You also have Kyle Cummins, Justin Grant, and last year's Indiana Midget Week winner Jacob Denny, who is not on that list, however, Christy. The all-time USAC National Sprint Car wins leader here at the Tri-State Speedway, Kevin Thomas Jr., and it's really shocking. You look at his sprint car record here. He's got a bunch of sprint car wins, obviously leads when it comes to USAC National Sprint Car wins here. Does not have a USAC National Midget win, and it's been a bit of a trying week for him in that Mounts Motorsports crew all week. So do you think tonight could be the big night we finally see KT victory lane here in a midget?
So Kyle Cummins was able to do it, and I think that everybody saw that coming, right? Kyle Cummins, the master of Tri-State Speedway, but I don't know that we can say that Kevin Thomas Jr. is not the master at Tri-State Speedway. He has proven that he is, especially with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series. So fair to believe that given that experience and that skill and that talent at this racetrack specifically alone, he could be a playing factor tonight.
And, oh, by the way, I guess he did win one of the big national sprint car races here this year. We'll just kind of leave that in as a sub-note. 2 things of note. One, a late entry. Of course, we kind of saw things play out the way they did with Ramco Speed Group last night. Caden Manders stepping aside for Zach Dahm to get in that race car. A new driver of the 7M tonight, Jaden Rogers. He's got a lot of wins here in MSCS competition, and he's got a Hobstot Hustler win to his credit. We don't really get to see Jaden that much in a midget. I believe, Christy, your stat was that he's only made 1 USAC National Midget appearance, but how do you think Jaden will do tonight? It's an interesting story, no doubt about it.
I think it's similar to what we were discussing with Kyle Cummins. Well, he's in the 7M, which Caden Manders has been wheeling all week, and it's been a really fast ride. Zach Dahm able to get into that last night, and so I think the car is certainly capable. Jaden Rogers more than capable of being competitive at Tri-State Speedway. I would expect to see him be pretty competitive tonight.
And the other thing we wanted to note, especially out of Keith Coons Motorsports, not 1 but 2 backup cars being brought down for drivers. The 2 young women on that team who had a very tough night last night, Taylor Reimer, of course, going for a big ride in our heat race, and Jade Avedisian later in the feature. Funny enough, Christy, you and I were talking about this off camera. I was talking to Pete Willoughby, and he told me the 25K was a lot more bent than the 71, but nonetheless, those cars, we know how similarly they are prepped, but it can be a big challenge going to a backup car tonight.
Yeah, I think we discussed that as well. So the hit that Taylor Reimer took was a much more blunt force impact than what Jade Avedisian had in the feature event. And although that one was much faster, and I didn't get to see it over the banking, but most likely a lot more violent looking, sometimes those hits aren't quite as hard as the ones that are really quick impact with not a lot of space or a lot of time to kind of wear off some of that velocity. So backup cars can be tricky, and we kind of talked about Justin Grant and the way that they've been fighting some gremlins on the car that they just quite haven't been able to figure out. And so that is what you run into when you start running a new chassis, a different motor, and you have to get all those pieces working together, and it can take a while.
And if you're looking to follow them tonight, Taylor Reimer in the all-black 25K Buzz Balls entry and Jade Avedisian in the purple and white Yahoo entry. Well, Dirt Draft Hot Laps are right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. Night number 4 of Indiana Midweek is next here on FloRacing.
Hello, Wisconsin. USAC Racing is coming to the Badger State in the month of June. On Friday, June 21st, USAC Silver Crown pounds the pavement for 100 laps at Madison International Speedway. 2 straight nights of USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Car action hits Saturday, June 22nd at Wilmot Raceway, and the following night on Sunday, June 23rd at Sun Prairie's Angel Park Speedway. Check USACRacing.com for all the details on each and every race. USAC is Wisconsin bound on June 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd for 3 spectacular shows across 3 unforgettable nights. Say cheese, race fans.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Race fans, Dirt Draft is your #1 fantasy racing app. Play along with hundreds of events each year featuring the biggest stars in series and racing. Draft your team each race night and compete against hundreds of fans across the country. Or start your private league to battle your friends for the ultimate bragging rights. Accumulate points each race night and cash those points in for top prizes from the biggest brands. Sign up today and learn more at dirtdraft.com or download in Google Play or the App Store. Dirt Draft, your fantasy racing edge.
Welcome back to the FloRacing broadcast, round 4 of Indiana Midget Week. Before we get to the midgets, we got sprint cars coming out, hot laps and qualifying, I believe.
Yes, sir, Brian. So, race fans, you'll notice Brian and I are going back and forth this evening. We've got, obviously, the production on Flo for the individuals that weren't able to make it here tonight, or if they're out of town and they're watching alongside on their mobile device or on their TV on FloRacing. And for those of you that are here, you're going to hear my voice, and we'll be bouncing back and forth as they go live and commercial break on FloRacing. So, want to give a shout out to all the fans one more time coming out. We knew the weather looked rough going into today. There were some doubts, but then we remembered we are at Tri-State Speedway, the absolute classiest track in America. And if anyone's going to be able to get a track ready to go, it is the Helfrich team here at Tri-State Speedway. We are ready to go for the Rod and Supply warm-up, engine heat, and group qualifying sessions. Group number 1 is on the track now. And I'd be remiss if I didn't welcome Stephen Kim back here. As always, a big race fan here at Tri-State Speedway with his daughter Izzy. Good to see them back where they always sit. Race fans, as we push these cars off, one to watch right there, Mr. Travis Berryhill, the Midwest Thunder 410 Sprint Car points leader. Travis out of Brownsburg, Indiana, driving the Maxim, TSR, Tyler Sturgeon Racing, Surgeon Dyno Service, and Vanilla Cycles. Right behind him, the 4B from Fort Branch, Indiana. That's Donnie Brackett. He's driving a Helix, sponsored by Lucas Oil Center of Evansville, CB Designs, and True Form Race Products. We mentioned him earlier whenever he came out onto the racetrack. Good to see him back here. Car number 17R. Out of Vincennes, Indiana, driving the DRC, Martin's Auto Care, Brad Arthur Heating and Cooling, and Wholesale Drainage Supply. 17R is Kendall Rubel. Rubel in the 17R. Driving car number 21 this evening, the Auto Wheel and Rim of Evansville, Spec Racing Engines, Brake and Wheel of Paducah, Kentucky, and Edwards Motorsports. Number 21 is Carson Short. Short in the 21. Lone Jack, Missouri's DRC, Anthony Plumbing, Cooling and Electric, Shriners Hospital for Children. Number 4, Brayton Cromwell. Cromwell in car number straight up 4. Always want to keep an eye on from Roberts, Kentucky, the DRC, Larry Gentry, Gene Nick Construction, DRC, Schaefer's Oil, and Roger Carey, Indy Race Parts. Number 10 is Eric Gentry. Eric Gentry in car number 10. From Goodyear, Arizona, driving car number 04, that's Logan Calderwood. Logan Calderwood driving the 04. We are spacing the cars now, getting them ready to go for tonight's qualifying action. Letting the drivers know to start spacing out just a little bit. You obviously don't want to be right on the bumper of another race car, as that could potentially slow you down. And we are starting to wind them up as they roll through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Going to buzz the top a little bit, and then you will see green flag wave here in just a few moments as group number 1 will get a couple extra laps to make sure the track is ready to go. All right, so you're going to see them back in town and start to roll the top in just a little bit. I believe next time we see the green flag wave, it should be for qualifying action. Another one in this group out of North Vernon, Indiana, driving the Triple X, Joe's Hand Cleaner, Howler Motorsports, PNY Farms. Number 41X is Owen Barr. Owen Barr driving the 41. All right, we see the green flag waves. Start of tonight's race in action is officially underway. Green flag waves for qualifying group session number 1. As the white flag waves, currently Stan Beatles. Dustin Beck sitting atop the speed chart now, 13.573 for Dustin Beck. Carson Short second quick, Kendall Rubel third quick. As the checkered flag dawns on group number 1. And group number 1 going to be quick time overall with a 13.573, the 75 of Dustin Beck. Second quick, only 15 one-thousandths of a second off, the 21M of Carson Short. Third quick, the number 17 of Kendall Rubel with a 13.649. And fourth quick, starting on the pole for heat race number 1, with a 13.691 time of Eric Gentry. Gentry in car number 10. Fifth quickest is the 77S of Travis Berryhill. Stan Beatles, sixth quickest in the 84. Logan Childerwood in the 04 is 7th. Braden Cromwell in the 4 is 8th. Donnie Brackett 9th in the 4B. And Owen Barr rounding out your field in the 41 as 10th. As the next group gets pushed onto the Speedway now, car number 55 out of Vincennes, Indiana, driving the Mach 1, Peters Mechanical Service, TP Plumbing, Engler Machine and Tool. That's John Ivers. John Ivers in the 55. Out of Evansville, Indiana, driving the DRC, Main Haven Equestrian Center, 3.14. It is Michael Daughtry. Michael Daughtry in the 3.14. He makes the long haul here from Buckeye, Arizona, driving the Triple X, MP Environmental, RSS Industries, CR Machine, FK Indy, number 47, Charles Davis Jr. Race fans, you may know this next driver from Dillsboro, Indiana, driving the Flea, sponsored by Davis Brothers, Bryan Southern Insurance, State Farm, Heavy Duty Truck and Transmission Services, Pool Group Incorporated. Race fans, it's the 5K, Kayla Rell. From Frankfort, Indiana, driving the Brewers Farms, Intact Management Group, Adix Graphics, the 11 of Jack Hoyer. Jack Hoyer in car number 11. From Wadesville, Indiana, driving the J&J Orthopedic Associates, Gary's Body Shop, Owensboro RV, and Hobgood Post Frames, 2J of Jeff Pritchett. Jeff Pritchett in the 2J. From Mitchell, Indiana, driving the DRC Auto Wheel and Rim of Evansville, Spec Racing Engines, Edward Motorsports, Southern Indiana Trailer Sales of Mitchell, Indiana, in car 61M, it is Brady Short. Brady Short in the 61M. From Fresno, California, driving the Spike, Stanton Racing Engines, Messel Valley Transport, High Performance Lubricants, and Kaiser Wheel sponsored machine. It's the 19AZ. Mitchell Moles. Mitchell Moles in the 19AZ. From Littleton, Colorado, driving the DRC Altos, BGE, Hornbeck Concrete, One-Way Technology, and Lugs Lawn Care. 15 of Carson Garrett. Carson Garrett in the 15. Right there at the start-finish line, car number 76, driven by J.J. Hughes from Jasper, Indiana. Once again, race fans, we want to thank Rod End Supply, our key sponsor for tonight's engine heat, warm-ups, and group qualifying. For those of you at home, we're locked on to J.J. Hughes. He rolls into turn number 1 now. We'll see who gets quick time in group number 2. White flag's out, a big push there for Kayla Rell right up to the wall. Riding long and home with Brady Short right now. Brady down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He'll see the checkered flags wave this time by. Little wheel stand there going off turn number 4. And we are about finished now with group number 2. Checkered flags are out, completing hot lap qualifying session number 2 in the 19AZ of Mitchell Moles. Will be quick time at the 12.974. Second quick, car number 15, Carson Garrett with a 13.065. Third quick, Brady Short in the 61M with a 13.386. And J.J. Hughes, your fourth quick qualifier with a 13.520. J.J. will now start on the pole of Spec Racing Engines heat race number 2. Fifth place going to Kayla Rell in the 5K. The 47 of Charles Davis Jr. 6th. Jack Hoyer in car number 11th at 7. The 3.14 Michael Daugherty is 8th. Jeff Pritchett in the 2J 9th. And John Ivers rounding out the field in car number 55. Out of Owensboro, Kentucky, he'll be rolling out as one of the first cars for group number 3, the third and final group. The Tap Motorsports, Butch and Billy's Diesel Service, Ernesto's and Integral Tools, Maxim 36 of Colin Ambrose. Ambrose in car 36. Out of Cloverdale, Indiana. Sorry, out of Jasper, Indiana. That is Reed Whitney. Reed Whitney in car number 87. He's driving an X1 chassis, Fox Shocks 87 speed, X1 race cars, and Makers Foundation sponsored machine. The DC Motorsports, Bill's Auto Repair, KRJ Race Products, B-Rains Photography, from Evansville, Indiana, it's the 18C of Cynthia Chambers. And race fans, that is Cindy Chambers, longtime racer here at the Tri-State Speedway here in Hopstad, Indiana. She hails from Bloomington. We like messing with her because we got her name wrong on the paper up here, but that's Cindy Chambers driving the 18C out of Bloomington, Indiana. Another one we're going to notice tonight, the 79. That is Matt Humphreys. Matt Humphreys hails from Oakland City, Indiana. The Young's Auto Body and Dice Auction Company and Timmons Fastlane sponsored car. England Machine and Tools, Southern Indiana Tree Cutters, Beach Technology, Compton's Farms, DRC. Out of Owensville, Indiana, that is Sam Scott driving the 7S. Sam Scott in the 7S. From Hobstown, Indiana, the A&N Transport, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Nathan Belote, Westside Automation, and Engler Machine and Tools sponsored Mach 1, the 12S of Aiden Schmidt. Aiden Schmidt in the 12S. From Avon, Indiana, the Detro Trailer, CB Design, Schaefer's Oil, Indy Powder Coating, it is Mike Larison. Larison in that beautiful 06 machine. From Worthington, Indiana, driving the Maxim, Lifestyle Homes, Griffin Propane, and Parallax Motorsports, the 17 GP of Jaden Rogers. Jaden Rogers in the 17 GP. From Fort Branch, Indiana, driving the Maxim, it's the 1S of Nathan Seal. Seal in the 1S. From Fort Branch, Indiana, driving the DRC, Bandit Ag, Davis Brothers Trucking, Daywig meets Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop. It's the 5S of Chase Stockin. Stockin in the 5S. Final cars pushed off now, ready to go for qualifying session number 3. We're going to be going green on the 5S of Chase Stockin as he rolls off turn number 3 now and into 4. You'll see the green flag drop from Chief Starter, Keith Daywig. Chase Stockin with a 13.355 for lap number 1. Remember, 12.9 quick time so far overall for this evening. Mike Larison putting in a good lap. Right now around 5th for his group as the white flag waves. The car's getting bunched up over there in turn number 4, and we almost had a big one over in turn 1 and 2. Cindy Chambers off the pace in the 18C as the checkered flags wave. Into the outside wall, keep her down. Nathan Seal in the 1S, almost going for a ride there, coming to the checkered flag. No harm, no foul. And everyone able to continue on as group number 3 is in the books. Chase Stockin going to be overall quick time in group number 3 with a 13.123. Jaden Rogers, second quick with a 13.207. Third quick, Aiden Schmidt with a 13.768. And fourth quick, starting on the pole for heat race number 3 with a 13.846. It's Colin Ambrose in car 36. In 5th place is the 7S of Sam Scott. The 06 of Mike Larison, 6th quick. The 87 of Reed Whitney is 7th quick. Nathan Seal, 8th quick in the 1S. The 79, Matt Humphreys, is 9th quick. And the 18C of Cindy Chambers is going to be 10th quick. And race fans, that will conclude the Midwest Thunder portion of qualifying as we hand it back over now to Brian for your USAC Midget Series.
Thank you very much. Cars begin to make their way out to the Speedway. Again, if you're just joining us in the stands or joining us on the broadcast, 33 drivers checking in here at Tri-State Speedway for round 4 of Indiana Midget Week. Drivers making their way out for Dirt Draft Hot Laps. We'll have 4 flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps here this evening. That'll translate into 4 heat races a little bit later on. Dirt Drafts is the first and only fantasy racing app where you can compete against fans from all over the world by choosing a team of 5 drivers from each USAC event based off your driver's results from tonight's event. You're then awarded points that you can use for USAC tickets, broadcasts, merchandise, and much, much more. Download the Dirt Draft app or visit dirtdraft.com and use referral code USAC when signing up to get a free t-shirt. Drake and Christy talking about this earlier, but we've had kind of a King of the Hill battle going here, starting at Knoxville. It is Cannon McIntosh moving on from last night. He will take on Kayla Rell. As Cannon betting on himself here tonight, along with KTJ, Cale Drake, Zach Weigel, and Steve Buckwalter. Kayla Rell, she's the first driver that has not included herself on the list of picks. Instead, she's going with Dayson Pursley, Kevin Thomas Jr., Ethan Mitchell, Zach Weigel, and Robert Carson. So those will be the picks between those two drivers. We'll see who moves on to the next round, of course, tomorrow up at Kokomo. Speaking of Kayla Rell, on track right now in the 4 machine. She comes to Dillsboro, Indiana, driven the Davis Brothers, Hawkins Hardwood Floors, Farmville Honda, Spike Chassis. Kayla Rell racing number 4K. She will roll onto the back straightaway. Driver rolling in front of her, that is a Ricky Lewis. Lewis out of Camarillo, California, driven the Metalloid 1 Performance Products, Bordner Welding, Lucky 7 Technology, Stanton Power DRC Chassis, number 54. Streaking around to the front straightaway, the AME Electrical, number 19AZ, Hayden Reinbold out of Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical Indy Race Parts, Stanton Spike Chassis entry. And the driver rolling in behind him, that is going to be Drake Edwards. He's out of Peoria, Arizona, in the Avante Windows and Doors, Beavers Drives, Apache Transport, CK Electric, Petty Performance Racing, number 3P. Cale Drake on track as well in 97. He works onto the back straightaway. Round to the front straightaway now. That's going to be the driver to Collinsville, Oklahoma. The iBlock Toyota, PaidKC.com, Speedway Toyota, powered, Link Chassis, KKM, Kerbag-Ajanian, number 97K. Jake Andriotti, quick look at the times, his quickest thus far. Driver the number 14 machine out of Castro Valley, California. The Acro Seal Stanton DRC Chassis, number 14. As the checker flag will fly on this flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Getting a look at the Metalloid number 14 here on the back straightaway. And one final driver to tell you about that was on track, that is Kyle Cummins. Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, driving the Oswegan Speedway, lead Midwest Lawn and Landscaping, Lynn Cyrus Racing, SR11X Spike Chassis, number 3. So Andriotti, quickest right now in Dirt Draft Hot Laps at a 13.502. Cale Drake at a 13.588. Kyle Cummins at a 13.628. Hayden Reinbold, 13.851. And Kayla Rell, fifth quick right now, 14.108 seconds. Next group of cars here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps going to begin to make their way out to the Speedway. Again, 33 drivers on hand here tonight. That'll be the largest car count this track has seen during Indiana Midget Week. Steadily growing, 27 in the first round, 29, 28, and now 33 drivers checking in here tonight. Jacob Denny on track at Galloway, Ohio. The Trent Shoring, Rodella Fabrication, Head Pink Powered Link Chassis. Tom Malloy on number 25. He sits awaiting the push over in the entrance of turn number 3. Driver next to him. Well, that was next to him. That was Lance Bennett. Bennett in the number 91 out of Aurora, Colorado. Now the field will begin to fire here. Chase McDermott around to the front straightaway out of Springfield, Illinois. Driver the Woodland Auto Display. Nutri-Right Barry Grovers, one-way powered Spike Chassis number 8. Here on the front straightaway, driver change tonight for the driver out of Worthington, Indiana. Australian behind the wheel the last couple of nights. In fact, last night ended up being Zach Dahm after an engine issue on his number 7P. Forced them to swap drivers around, but tonight it's going to be Jaden Rogers and the American Fire Extinguisher Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis Ramco Speed Group number 7M. Normally a driver for Michael Dutcher Motorsports in the 17 GP. He'll be in competition with the Midwest Thunder 410 non-wing series here as well. Ethan Mitchell out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The Dyad CNC Tooling, Bunny Bill Honda. Spike Chassis, Millbridge Speedway, the Joyous City, Mark IV Racing, number 19M. He'll make his way round to the front straightaway. 25K, that is going to be Taylor Reimer. She's out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Driver the hometown Harvest Ag, Buzzball, Speedway Toyota, Link Chassis, Mobile One, Toyota, number 25K. Checking out the 54 here in the front straightaway. Driver coming to us out of Auckland, New Zealand. That's going to be Michael Pickens in the Inferno Armor, K1 Race Gear, Smith Titanium, Sure-Built Suspension, Velox Racing, number 54 NZ. Hank Davis on track at a Sand Spring, Oklahoma. Driver the Belling Racing Equipment, Stanton XXX Chassis, Evans Custom Lettering, number 8. As the field will start to come to speed here, a little bit of smoke off of Pickens, number 54. Looks like coming off of the engine, not out of the engine. As we get a look at the 25B here on the broadcast, driver to Royersford, Pennsylvania. That was Buckwalter Roofing. Royalton Recycling, number 25. That was Steve Buckwalter. Checking out Jacob Denny here at Galloway, Ohio. The Trent Shoring, Rodilla Fabrication. Link Chassis, Ed Pink Racing Engine. Tom Malloy on number 25. Winner here 1 year ago. Behind the wheel of that number 25 machine. Did mentioned earlier, new driver behind the wheel of the number 7M, Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. As a quick check of the times, Jake Andriotti still quickest. Cale Drake second, Kyle Cummins. Taylor Reimer fourth quick. She'll be the fastest among the drivers on track right now at a 13.670. Chase McDermott, last night's Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier, is fifth quick at 13.808. Aiden Reinbold, 6th quick at a 13.851. Jacob Denny, 13.855. Ethan Mitchell at a 14.063. And Kayla Rell is currently 9th quick at a 14.108. Steve Buckwalter, rounding out the top 10 right now with a 14.172. Dirt Draft Hot Laps round number 3 will begin to pace its way out to the Speedway. Attention all racing fans, now you can play USAC for cash. Scan the QR code that's here on the broadcast to sign up now and claim an exclusive USAC bonus. Don't miss out on the incredible opportunity to turn your racing passion into real rewards. You can scan the QR code if you're sitting in the stands. Go to nxtbets.com/playusac. nxtbets.com/playusac to play today. Players can get up to a $250 bonus $250 in bonus cash from various sports books available in your state. Currently available in 30 states across the continental U.S. Must be 21 years or older to play. Void where prohibited. Bringing out the backup car here tonight for Jada Vidician after getting upside down violently in the feature event last night. She's out of Clovis, California, driving the Yahoo Mobile 1 TRD Peels Curb Records IWX Speedway Toyota Link chassis number 71. That car, normally you'll see that one with the Extreme Outlaw Midgets powered by Toyota and the Mobile 1 cars, which you'll see on the USAC trail. Fortunately, a little bit too much damage to have the USAC car on track, so they will bring the Yahoo car out here tonight. Driver to Rushville, Indiana, driver to PorterPipe.com, Chevrolet Beast chassis. Beard Heating and Cooling, Lucky 7 Technologies, number 4. That's Adam Bolliard. Adam Bolliard in the number 4. Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California, making his way into number 1 right now. The Indy Fuel, AP Driver Development, Prime 47, Drexel Interior, CGCPA's Indy Custom Zone, MPV Express, number 57. Tom Dunkel on the back straightaway out of Manatee, California, driver the Inland Rigging. Oak Hills Postal, One Way Spike, Osborne Speed, a Machine, Josh Ford Motorsports, number 17A. Gavin Miller on track out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Sound Gear, Toyota Racing Development, Mobile 1, IBOG, Curb Records, KKM Curb Virginia, number 97. Rolling to turn number 1, Kyle Jones, rolling through turns 3 and 4. Back behind the wheel of his number 7P, that's going to be Zach Dahm of Pocahontas, Illinois, the American Fire Extinguishers, Precise Racing Products, Ramco Speed Group, Speedway King Chassis, number 7P. Cars coming to speed, one more to tell you about, that's Kyle Jones out of Kennedale, Texas, the Realty Connecting, the Machine and Tools, Stanton S. Sullivan X Bike Chassis, Smiley's Racing Products, number 27. And problems, we got one dead in the water over in turns 3 and 4, that is Dunkel in the 17. So I mentioned earlier, Avidician bringing out the Yahoo sponsor machine here, the other car. Damage repairable, but time and resources not going to allow it, so they bring the backup car out here tonight. That began with the driver right here at the flag stand, and not by his choice. Going to turn number 1 last night, throttle linkage coming apart on the number 27. Forced the throttle wide open as he went into the turn. He realized things were about to get bad. Got her up in the cushion. That finally unhooked the throttle. And at that point, the car was just dead on the track. It couldn't go anywhere. And unfortunately, Jada Vidician, with no time to react and nowhere to go, got over the right rear tire of that car. And that sent her flipping off of the top of the Speedway. Luckily, everybody okay. All the safety equipment doing its job. And she is able to continue on. Both drivers able to continue on here tonight. But one of those just freak incidents of a parts failure. Unfortunately, collecting another car in the process. Talking to Kyle, and he said he was trying everything he could to get off of the cushion and get down to the middle of the track so they could split them. Just could not get there. Next group of cars is going to make the round to the Speedway. Before we do that, let's take it down to Drake.
Thank you so much, Brian. We saw a little bit of trouble there for Tom Dunkel in that Josh Ford Motorsports number 17 entry, but Indiana Midget Week has been his first excursion in a midget outside of the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Tom told me earlier today this is about the most fun he's had going racing. His plan initially at the beginning of the week was to do just about every night of Indiana Midget Week in a sprint car. Took a nasty ride out at the Putnamville Speedway, or Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana, I should say, a couple nights ago. But the word he keeps using around me, Brian, is fun. Tom Dunkel's having a lot of fun, and he's really excited about tonight because he said the tight turns remind him of Ventura, where he's won before in a non-wing 360 sprint car. Obviously didn't want to have that spin here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps, but it's been so fun to watch this driver mature and figure out these midgets a little bit. Like I said, the only midget experience he had before this week of Indiana Midget Week was at the Chili Bowl, so still figuring out a little bit, but hopefully we'll see some improvement out of the driver out of California later this week.
Indeed, thank you very much. Final flight of drivers in Dirt Draft Hot Laps out to the Speedway. Cannon McIntosh on the back straightaway out of Bixby, Oklahoma. The Gear Wrench TRD Mobile 1 Curb Record. Speedway Total Link chassis number 71K. Going to roll his way towards turns at 3 and 4. Driver rolling to his inside right now. Dason Persley to Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The PristineAuction.com NOS Energy Drink. Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis Toyota Racing Development number 86. Picked up the win last night at Bloomington. First driver to double up on victory so far this season with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Zach Weigel on track. The Dave Nost Auto Outlet, Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis number 89 out of Belpre, Ohio, making his way into turn number 1. Driver rolling in front of him onto the back straightaway out of Ione, California. The NOS Energy Drink and EnviroFab MPV Express, Spike Toyota, RMS Racing number 2. That is Justin Grant. Justin Grant in the 2. Checking the list, we're going to find Jeff Schindler. He's out of Evansville, Indiana, driving the United Mechanical Felker Spike Chassis. Bryant Heating and Cooling, Jenkins Family Dentistry, number 8X. Driving to Wheatfield, Indiana, we find Adam Taylor, the Smoky Speed Shop. Chevy V4 Spike, Excel Automotive, Jones Bray Racing, number 7C. Back on track this week. Having to swap cars around last night. He's back behind the wheel to number 14. That's Kevin Thomas Jr. He'll come to speed here. Ryan Timms in the JBL IWX Curb Records. Mobile 1, number 67. Roughest finish he's had all week, coming last night at Tri-State with a 12th place finish. The cushion hooking and booking him a couple of times. Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama. 3 engines, 2 cars, and last night they finally got some speed out of that thing. We'll see what the Inferno Armor Rockwell Security MPV Express Super 14S can do here tonight. The driver in 11. Stephen Schnapp out of Newburgh, Indiana, driver of the Martins Auto Care Incorporated, Jero 1 Racing Oil, Max Performance Parts and Equipment, Napa, number 11S. First Midget Week start of the week here tonight. As that'll wrap up your Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and the fastest driver overall, Jake Andriotti. At a 13.502, Dason Pursley ends up second quick at a 13.526. Cale Drake at a 13.588. Kyle Cummins at a 13.628. And Taylor Reimer is fifth quick at a 13.670. So crews coming out, they'll add some lines to the walls here so drivers can differentiate between the end of the track and the beginning of the retaining wall. New NOS Zero Sugar is here. Zero Sugar 100% NOS. Stop by the NOS Energy Sampling Station to grab a complimentary can and try one today, or find a retailer near you at drinknos.com. Get after it, race fans. You can also follow them on social media at NOS Energy Drink. Of course, that is right over behind the grandstands on the Turn 2 exit side. Of course, you got vendor row back there. The USAC merchandise trailers stocked and waiting for you. Make sure you get your official USAC gear, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and all the official race day must-haves. Be sure to follow USAC Gear Facebook page for new merchandise and special offers all season long. While you're down there, you can also find the USAC drivers' names, hometown sponsors, chassis, and engine information by purchasing a driver roster. They're only $1 at the USAC merchandise trailer. And, of course, the Indiana Midget Week t-shirts going quick, so get there while your size, color, and design is still available. Honest Abe Roofing qualifying up next. First driver out to the Speedway, we find Cale Drake. He's out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, driving the iBuck Toyota, PageKC.com, KKM Give Back Classic, Speedway Toyota Link chassis number 97K. First attempt at Indiana Midget Week. And lap number one is going to be 14.054, 14054 seconds. An 11th and 8th, and most recently a 12th place finish for Cale Drake on the week here. Comes around lap number two, better, 13.902, 139.02 seconds for Cale Drake. Second car on track is out of Camarillo, California. Drove the Metalloid 1 Performance Products, Border Welding. Number 54, this is Ricky Lewis. Ricky Lewis in the 54, piloting for Four Kings Racing here. 24th place finish last night at Bloomington. Another driver taking on Indiana Midget Week for the first time. Lap number one for him was quick time at a 13.847, 138.47 seconds for Ricky Lewis. Comes around lap number two, better, 13.82, 138.20 seconds for Ricky Lewis. Out of Peoria, Arizona, driver the Avanti windows and doors. Stanton SR11X, Spike Chassis, Beaver Stripes, Apache Transport, CK Electric, number 3P. This is Drake Edwards. Drake Edwards in the 3P. Driver currently third in points at the USAC Western State Midgets, presented by Avanti Windows and Doors. Is third quick on lap number 1 at the 14.765, 147.65 seconds. Pair wins on the season, both in micro competition at Adobe Mountain, and problems off of turn number 4. So the lap crowded, so officials did take it under yellow flag conditions. They are going to go ahead and give him that lap here. And we'll see how he does off of turn number 4. Skates are up by the wall, and he will cross with a 14.660. So better on time, not position. Third quick for Drake Edwards. So the lap obstructed is why we went under caution. Next driver on track is out of Dillsboro, Indiana. Driver the Davis Brothers, Hawkins Hardwood Floors, Farm Bill Honda Spike Chassis number 4K. This is Kayla Rell. Rell, a little bit too hard in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Gets the car back underneath her and gets back into the throttle here. She's a 5-time winner here with the Midwest Mini Sprint Association. 4th at Lincoln Park in the B feature. Last night, 16th at Bloomington. Comes around lap number 2, looking for a big improvement. Gets it third quick, 14.309, 143.09 seconds. Start off the week with a bang at a Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical Indy Race Parts. Stanton SR11X Spike Chassis number 19AZ. This is Hayden Reinbold. Hayden Reinbold in the 19. First career 5th place finish coming in Lawrenceburg to kick off Midget Week. Comes around lap number 1, third quick at a 13.949 second lap. 13th at Lincoln Park, 9th last night at Bloomington. 1 year ago, finished 22nd in this event. Nearly gets up and finds the wall off of turn number 4. That'll cost him 14.205 on lap number 2. Lap number 1, 13.949. Third quick for Hayden Reinbold. Jake Andriotti out of Castro Valley, California, driving the AcroSeal, Borner Welding, Stanton DRC Chassis, Lucky 7 Technologies, 4 Kings Racing, number 14 on track. Up hard in the cushion over in turn number 4. Comes around lap number 1. Quick time, 13.8 flat. 13.800 seconds for Jake Andriotti. Making his way up at turn number 4. Does he improve on lap number 2? A little bit sore, but not by much. 13.809, but a 13.80. Quick time for Jake Andriotti on lap number 1. Been watching this driver wheel a sprint car all season long. Now he's behind the wheel of a midget. Out of Worthington, Indiana, driving the American Fire Extinguisher, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, Blue Max Pay, Precise Racing Products number 7M. This is Jaden Rogers. Jaden Rogers in the Ramco Speed Group number 7M here tonight, 14.364. Michael Dutcher Motorsports number 17 GP was 6 in the A feature at Tri-State. Has 2 career USAC midget appearances. Comes around lap number 2, a little bit slower, 14.378. Lap number 1, a 14.364. Kyle Cummins is speed to the back straightway out of Princeton, Indiana. Driving the Ashwegan Speedway Elite Midwest Lawn and Landscaping. SR11X Spike Chassis number 3G. Comes around lap number 1 is quick time at a 13.741, 137.41 seconds for Kyle Cummins. 15th place finish last night at Bloomington. Makes his way up at turn number 4. Does he improve on lap number 2? A little bit slower, 13.803, but a 13.741 second lap. That is now your quick qualifying time for Kyle Cummins. Driver out of the Rocky Mountain Midget Racing Association. He comes to you out of Aurora, Colorado, driver the Simpson. Schoenfeld Headers, Amsoil, PXP Racewear, Stanton Power, Spike Chassis number 91. This is Lance Bennett. Lance Bennett in the number 91. Comes around lap number 1, 9th quick at a 15.149, 151.49 seconds for Lance Bennett. 16th at Lawrenceburg, 8th in the semi-feature event at Lincoln Park, at a 20th place finish last night at Bloomington. Has to low out of her just a little bit that time over in turn number 4. A little bit slower that time at a 15.285. Lap number 1, 15.149, 9th quick. 10th driver on track at Galloway, Ohio. Driver the Trent Shoring, Rodella Fabrication, FK Rod Ends, Ed Pink Power, Link Chassis, Tom Beloy, number 25. This is Jacob Denny. Jacob Denny And the number 25 winner here 1 year ago comes across 6 quick on lap number 1 at a 14.166, 14.166 seconds. Third place finish last night at Bloomington. Brings her hot and heavy off of the cushion. Exiting turn number 4. Better on time, not position. 14.078. 6 quick for Jacob Denny. Taking a wicked ride in her heat race. Ended up having to use a provisional into last night's feature event. She's out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Driving the Buzzball Speedway Toyota Link Chassis. Curb Records Mobile 1 KKM Curb Bag G number 25K. This is Taylor Reimer. Taylor Reimer in the number 25K still was able to fight up to a 16th place finish in last night's feature event. 1 year ago, finished 17th here at Tri-State. Lap number 1 for her was 6th quick at a 14.021 second lap. Lap number 2, 4th quick, 13.896 for Taylor Reimer. Ethan Mitchell on track at Mooresville, North Carolina. The Dyad CNC Tooling, Bundyville Honda, Spike Chassis, Millbridge Speedway, the Joyous Seating, number 19M. 1 year ago, mechanical problems sidelining him after the heat race. Comes around lap number 1, 11th quick at a 14.796 second lap. Finished 8th last night at Bloomington. 20 career starts in Indiana Midget competition. Comes around with an improvement in lap number 2 to 10th quick at a 14.590, 145.90 seconds. At speed to the back straightaway now at Warriorsburg, Pennsylvania. Driver the Buckwalter Roofing, Royalton Recycling, VRP Shocks, A1 Elite Racing Engines. Brian Buckwalter on number 25B. This is Steve Buckwalter. Steve Buckwalter in the 25B. 9th quick at lap number 1 with a 14.329. 6th place finish in the semi-feature event last night at Bloomington. Comes around lap number 2, 8th quick at a 14.263, so better for the driver of the number 25B. This team has been fighting mechanical gremlins since the word go. The Belling Racing Equipment, Evans Custom Lettering, Stanton Triple X Chassis number 8. This is Hank Davis out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Started off the car just like it was on the box the entire time he was on the track on night number 1. Got it sorted out a little bit better in Lincoln Park. Was able to get into the feature event last night at Bloomington at a 14.813 on lap number 1. That was 13th quick for Hank Davis. Does he improve on lap number 2? He does. 11th quick at 14.568, 145.68 seconds. Picking up his first career Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifying effort last night. He's out of Springfield, Illinois. Driving the Woodland Auto Display. Nutri Barry Gromers Inland Rigging. Spike Chassis, one-way power number 8W. This is Chase McDermott. Chase McDermott in the 8W. 8th quick on lap number 1, 14.169 seconds, 141.69 seconds. Started off with a quick qualifying time last night. Unfortunately, ended up done early, 23rd at Bloomington. Comes around lap number 2, better, 14.006, 140.06 seconds. Move him to 7th quick. Out of Auckland, New Zealand, the Inferno Armor, K1 Race Gear, Smith Titanium, Sure-Built Suspension, Velox Racer number 54 in Z. This is Michael Pickens. Michael Pickens going to be 12th quick on lap number 1, 14.552. 14th in Lawrenceburg, 18th in Lincoln Park, and 14th last night at Bloomington. First time taking on Midget Week since 2019. Brings it off at turn number 4. Better on time? No. 14.678. Lap number 1, 14.552 will be his attempt. That puts him 12th quick currently. Snidely Whiplash on track at Kennedale, Texas. A Realty Connect. Stanton SR11X, Spike Chassis, England Machine and Tools, Smiley's Racing Products number 27. This is Kyle Jones. Kyle Jones in the number 27. 21st last night at Bloomington. Mentioned earlier the throttle linkage coming apart. Stuck that car wide open up into the cushion and barely holding on to it, unfortunately, as the car was dead in the water. Collected Jade Evedissian in the process. Lap number 1 was a 15.290. Puts him 17th quick right now. Lap number 2, still 17th. Better on time, though, at a 15.203, 152.03 seconds for Kyle Jones. Ew. That could have been disastrous. Blake Brannon having a whoa out completely there in turns 1 and 2. And the Kaiser wheels of Vance Shocks, Brandon Corporation, Western Speed, Clot Synthetic Lubricants number 40. 16.282 on lap number 1. Finished 5th last night in the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. That is 2 nights in a row he's had a 5th place finish in the semi-feature. Car turns like a dump truck over in turns 3 and 4. Gets it back underneath them. He does improve, though. 14.646. He's 15th quick in the 40. Adam Bolliard on track at Rushville, Indiana. Driven to PorterPipe.com. Mirrored heating and cooling. Lucky 7 Technology Chevrolet Beast chassis number 4. Rolls her up onto the cushion through turns 3 and 4. We'll see how he does on lap number 1. He is going to be 19th quick at a 15.738 second lap. 1.5738 seconds. 23rd at Lawrenceburg. Last time on track here during Midget Week was at Lincoln Park. Finished 13th in the semi-feature event. Hops and skips her over the cushion over in turns 3 and 4. Does improve his time, though, to a 15.191, 1.5191 seconds, 18th quick for the driver of the number 4. On the hammer to the back straightaway out of Southern California, driven the Indy Fuel, AP Driver Development, Prime 47, Drexel Interiors, Forecheck Marketing, Abacus Racing, Dozers, Nuts, and Bolts over 57. This is Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey, 4th quick on lap number 1, 13.874, 1.3874 seconds for the driver with 8 overall victories on the season. Best finish of Midget Week so far coming last night was a 4th place at Bloomington. Streaks her down to the front straightaway. Does he improve? He does. Quick time, 13.653, 1.3653 seconds for Logan Seavey. Out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Sound Gear Toyota Racing Development, Mobile One Curb Records iBox, Speedway Toyota Powered Link chassis number 97. This is Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller in the number 97. Lap number 1 for him, going to be 5th quick at a 13.840. 1.3840 seconds. 5th place finish last night at Bloomington. Best finish so far this week for the Pennsylvania driver. Rolls her off the cushion onto the front straightaway. The Sound Gear number 97 going to cross. Lap number 1 going to be his best attempt at a 13.840. Still 5th quick for Gavin Miller. Out of Pocahontas, Illinois, the American Fire Extinguishers, Ramco Speed Group, Precise Racing Products, Blue Max Pay, Speedway Powered, King Chassis number 7P. This is Zach Dom. Zach Dom in the 7P. Comes around lap number 1, 11th quick at a 14.176, 14.176 seconds. Likewise, a lot of drivers picking up their best finish of the week so far. Last night at Bloomington, crossed 7th, as he has been tinkering with the setup on that car for the last 48 hours, and so far improvements have been noticeable. 10th quick on lap number 2 at a 14.073 second lap. Unfortunately, last night Dom had to swap over into the 7M. Problems on the timing gears, but back behind the wheel of his number 7P here. As we continue on, it is Tom Dunkel on track at Manatee, California. He's going to be 20th quick on lap number 1, a 15.132 second lap. 8th in the semi-feature event last night at Bloomington. He wheels for Josh Ford Motorsports here. Takes it into turns 3 and 4. Car going to go ahead and scoot up the racetrack around to the front straightaway. Lap number 2, 15.107. Still 20th quick for Tom Dunkel. 24th driver to take time. Comes to you out of Clovis, California. Driving the Mobile One, Yahoo, TRD, Peels, Curb Records, IWX, Speedway Total Link chassis number 71. This is Jade Davidissian. Jade Davidissian in the number 71. Comes around lap number 1. Going to be 8th quick at a 13.905, 1.3905 second lap. 12th at Lawrenceburg, 7th at Lincoln Park, 22nd at Bloomington. 1 year ago, finished 8th here at Tri-State. Rolls her up onto the cushion off of turn number 4. Lap number 2. A little bit slower, 13.912. Lap number 1, 13.905. 8th quick for Jade Davidissian. Out of Ione, California, we find Justin Grant of the NOS Energy Drink, EnviroFab, MPV Express, Toyota Spike Chassis, RMS Racing number 2. Lap number 1 for the 5-time winner on the season, 15 quick at a 15.358. And 14.358 on lap number 1, Second last night at Bloomington, led the opening half. Going to try a different line through turns 3 and 4. Does he have it there? Picks up 5 spots, goes to 10th quick at a 14 flat, 1.4000 seconds for Justin Grant. From the driver that led the first half to the driver that led the last half, Dason Percy to Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the PristineAuction.com, NOS Energy Drink, Toyota Racing Development, CB Industries, number 86. Lap number 1 going to be 5th quick at a 13.838 second lap. Quick time at Lincoln Park. Ended up with a third-place finish. He was second at Lawrenceburg. He has 9 overall wins on the season. Comes around lap number 2. Quick time, Dason Pursley, 13.551. 1:35.51 seconds for Dason Pursley. So not slowing down one bit as we head on to the driver to Coleman, Alabama. In the Inferno Armor, Rockwell Security, Smith Titanium, MPV Express, Super 14S. This is Kevin Thomas Jr. Trying to get them elbows limbered up here so he can saw the wheel on that number 14. A 14.450, 14.450 seconds, 18th quick for the driver to Coleman, Alabama. Leans her over to the right side through turns 3 and 4. Comes around for the checkered flag and 14.638. Lap number 1, 14.450, his quickest attempt. Going to be 18th quick for KTJ. First Indiana midweek start of the week here for Steven Schnapp. He's out of Newburgh, Indiana, driver of the Martins Auto Care Incorporated, JR1 Racing Oils, number 11S. Look out. Gets her balled up over in turns 3 and 4. And looks like the right front is bouncing chaotically on that thing. As we'll get another look at it here, and it looks like the shock just dangling on that thing as he works around. Still turns a 16.269 on lap number 1. That puts him 24th quick. Unfortunately, suspension issues on that, hindering his attempt. Nevertheless, we'll move on. Zach Weigel on track at the Belpre, Ohio. Driver of the Dave Noss Auto Outlet. McCarthy Real Estate, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis number 89. 5th quick in lap number 1, a 13.806, 1:38.06 seconds. 19th in last night's feature event at Bloomington. Was your quick qualifier at Lawrenceburg. For the first time in his career, comes around lap number 2, second quick at a 13.597, 1:35.97 seconds for Zach Weigel. She is sounding chunky to the back straightaway at Wheatfield, Indiana. Driver of the Smoky Speed Shop, Excel Automotive, Jones Bray Racing, Chevy V4 Power number 17. This is Adam Taylor. Adam Taylor, 18 quick in lap number 1 at 14.322, 1:43.22 seconds for the driver of the number 7C. Can bolt onto the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Comes around on lap number 2. At a 14.522, so lap number 1 could be his best attempt, 14.322, 18th quick for Taylor. Going to try and leave left front at home here. Cannon McIntosh at the Bixby, Oklahoma, driver of the Gear Wrench, TRD, Bubble 1 curb record, Speedway Total Link chassis, KKM curb Agajanian, number 71K. Comes around lap number 1, 12th quick at a 13.971, 1:39.71 seconds for the driver of the number 71. 6th place finish last night at Bloomington 1 year ago here at Tri-State Cross, 7th in the feature event. Coming around the way with a checkered flag, the Gear Wrench entry. Well, lap number 1 going to be his best attempt, 13.971 to 14.012 on lap number 2, 12th quick for Cannon McIntosh. Jess Schindler on track out of Evansville, Indiana, driving the United Mechanical Felker Esslinger powered Spike chassis, Karen's Custard Hamburgers, Brian's Heating and Cooling number 8X. Winner here with the Midwest Mini Sprint Association comes around lap number 1 at a 14.634, 1:46.34 seconds for the driver of the number 8X, currently 25th on the roster. 3 shows on the season to start with the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series powered by Toyota. First USAC start of the season coming this week during Indiana Midget Week. Comes around 22nd quick, so a little bit of improvement in lap number 2 to 14.460, 1:44.60 seconds for Jeff Schindler. Taking time now out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the JBL IWX Mobile 1 curb record, Speedway Total Link chassis, KKM curb Agajanian number 67. This is Ryan Timms. Ryan Timms, 13th quick in lap number 1, a 13.975. 2-time winner in Indiana Midget Week competition. Both of those coming at Lawrenceburg. 2nd at Lincoln Park, 11th last night at Bloomington. Last year finished 12th here. Comes around lap number 2, a little bit slower, 14.039, so a 13.975. Ryan Timms, 13th quick. As he'll make his way back into the pit area. That will wrap up your Honest Abe Roofing qualifying and a quick look at your top 5. The driver qualifying fit tonight is Jake Gandriotti. Qualifying in 4th is Kyle Cummins. 3rd is Logan Seavey. 2nd is Zach Weigel. And ladies and gentlemen, your quick qualifier for the second time this week at Locust Grove, Oklahoma, thepristineauction.com. NOS Energy, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, CB Industries, number 86. Race fans, give him a hand, Dason Pursley. As he rolls down into our Honest Abe Roofing victory lane, we take it down to Christy.
Thank you, Brian. Dason Pursley picked up a 6th place result with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Cars here at Tri-State Speedway just 1 month ago, but no doubt this is a place where you kind of have grown and cut your teeth in the non-wing sprint car ranks with KO Motorsports going on. And then obviously we bring the sprint cars here quite a bit more than we do with the midgets, and picking up your 2nd Honest Abe Roofing qualifying award of the week. Do you feel like sheer laps alone here is more beneficial than other places?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've gotten schooled in the non-wing sprint car here time and time again by KTJ and CJ and Brady and Justin and all those guys. So running behind them guys definitely teach you a lot of things to get around this tricky place, and it's one like none other. But another great car by Chad Bowden, the CB Industries guys. Zach went out there and it's his first time here, and he was right up to speed. So it just goes to show how good the cars are right now, and it just makes our job really, really easy to drive them around the racetrack.
CB Industries holds the track record here with Chris Windham back in 2021. How much of that were they using today to sort of, translate that success that they've had here in the past?
It's just really, hard to say with just like the new tire rule now and everything that the midgets have going for them, and Hopslot seems like always changes the dirt around every year. So it's hard to tell really how much Chad went back and really looked at that, but who knows? Chad has a lot of stuff up his sleeve, and his cars are really, really fast. So I can't tell any of his secrets.
First driver this week to 2 wins with the USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midgets during Indiana Midget Week. First driver this week to 2 Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifier awards. Are you able to balance that place between like getting the season going and looking for a championship and not getting too far ahead of yourself?
Yeah, you definitely can't get too far ahead of yourself here. It feels like Midget Week is, a long time into the season, but then you sit down and look at it and it's pretty much only the second, week/weekend of the midget season. So a lot of things can go right and a lot of things can go wrong in a week's span here with the midgets. So it seems like we're off to a good start, of course, and we just have to keep on keeping on and see if we can close it still out.
Well, it's probably not something he would say, but I'm going to say it. Dason Pursley and CB Industries, rather unstoppable right now. Brian, I just mentioned they were the first team to 2 victories during Indiana Midget Week, first team to 2 Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifier awards during Indiana Midget Week, and what's been nearly a spotless Indiana Midget Week so far for Dason Pursley could shape up to one of those Indiana Midget Week titles, which we've seen in the past be ever so important for picking up the USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget title at the end of the season.
Most definitely, thank you very much. As here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's real and it's sprintacular. It's 2 consecutive nights of USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship racing action at Putnamville, Indiana's Lincoln Park Speedway on July 5th and 6th. The IndianaOpenWheel.com Bill Garner Sprintacular featuring the cream of the crop, fighting for $5,000 to win on Friday night and $10,000 big ones in Saturday evening's 40-lap finale. For event info and more, visit LincolnParkSpeedway.com and USACRacing.com. The Bill Garner Sprintacular arrives July 5th and 6th. It's the most sprintacular time of the season.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. Amsoil specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence. Order online at amsoil.com.
Race fans, Dirt Draft is your #1 fantasy racing app. Play along with hundreds of events each year featuring the biggest stars in series and racing. Draft your team each race night and compete against hundreds of fans across the country. Or start your private league to battle your friends for the ultimate bragging rights. Accumulate points each race night and cash those points in for top prizes from the biggest brands. Sign up today and learn more at dirtdraft.com or download Google Play or the App Store. Dirt Draft, your fantasy racing edge.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
20 years. Happy 20th anniversary, Elliott's. Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts is proud to celebrate its 20th anniversary. Centrally located and woman-owned, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts provides a customer-focused buying experience that showcases quality products, craftsmanship, and a first-class sales staff. From the best in golf cart brands, heavy and lightweight trailers, roadworthy RVs, and custom race trailers, Elliott Custom Trailers and Carts can cover all of your recreational vehicle needs.
Congratulations, Elliott. 20 years. 20 years. 20 years. 20 years.
20 years.
Make plans now to join Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts on June 8th as they celebrate their 20th anniversary. Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts is located at 3955 Corridor Drive in Warsaw, Indiana. Can't join Elliott's in person on June 8th? Visit them online anytime at elliotscustomtrailers.com.
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
We have a Max Pappas Innovations MPI Rookie of the Year, and that's Gavin Miller. Of rookies of this race, of the people who have never run this race until this very day, he is the highest finishing one, Chet.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
It was in 2005 that we started TrailerAlarms.com, and we started it to help racers, race fans, and more protect their trailers, cars, and equipment. We'd like to invite you to check out our 2-time global award-winning trailer security system. We're American-made and the only trailer security system in the world with more than a 1-year warranty. Just visit TrailerAlarms.com today or contact Lyle for more information.
It's hard to contain your excitement when you get something you've really wanted. Like the gold standard in automotive protection, WeatherTech floor liners. With deep sculpted channels and laser measured for total protection in the front, back, and even up the sides.
Dad, you're going viral.
What? WeatherTech me.
So don't be shy, enjoy. Order your premium American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
Hey, race fans, Drake York here. We're back out on a Cookout Shake Flavor segment, and I got one of the great USAC fans with me. What's your name?
Ryan Harrison, Martin, Tennessee.
Hey, we even got a Tennessean here at Indiana Midget Week. How about that? So we're sponsored by our good friends over at Cookout. They're well known for their burgers and shakes, which, by the way, Ryan, over 40 shakes made fresh every day at Cookout. And tonight he's going to have the chance to guess Justin Grant's favorite shake flavor. Justin, good run in second last night. And by the way, if you win, you get a free prize pack from the USAC merchandise trailer. So Ryan, whenever you're ready, what do you think Justin's favorite milkshake flavor is from Cookout?
I'm going to go on a limb and say peanut butter banana.
All right, let's hear what it is.
My favorite Cookout shake flavor has got to be peanut butter banana.
Congrats, Ryan. It was peanut butter banana. Congratulations. Go pick yourself up a prize from the USAC merchandise trailer.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
To find your nearest Cookout, go to cookout.com.
Race fans, we want to give a special thanks to some of our Tri-State Speedway sponsors. We want to thank First Bank, making great things happen. Boyd Caterpillar, Caterpillar Sales, Rental, Parts, and Repair for Indiana and Kentucky. Whitledge Tree Service, trees cut down, stumps removed, disaster cleanup, and more. Wickham Ranch Trail Riding. Enjoy trail riding and learning to ride at Wickham Ranch in Velpen, Indiana, near Huntingburg. Find Wickham Ranch online and on Facebook. The Pit Bike Guy, specializing in pit bikes, small off-road motorcycles made for racing, stunts, and a whole lot of fun. They're located in Princeton. The Pit Bike Guys. Brass Ring Bar and Grill. Find great food, fun, and friends at the place to be in Hopstadt. Mark Cole's Auto Glass and Pro Window Tinting in Evansville. Best in business, and they do homes and offices too. Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop. Master craftsman and painter Ted Brown is on Epworth Road between Highway 66 and Oak Grove Road on Evansville's east side. ViewTech, 650 employees specializing in the installation of dashboards, overhead systems, and glass in Gibson County. Diamond Equipment, Case Equipment with locations in Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Medic On-Site, official ambulance service at the Tri-State Speedway with complete on-site medical services. Daywig Meats of Hopstadt, the best in the business since 1916, and they prove it each and every week here at Tri-State Speedway. Best One Tire and Auto Service, tires, wheels, brakes, alignments, and services located throughout the region. Heads Construction, new construction and remodeling, Heads builds it right. Hamlin Equipment Rental, all the top brands. Rent what you need when you need it. Shelter Insurance of Evansville. See Shelter Agent Rick Koberstein because he knows insurance. Working distributors, Budweiser, Bud Light, Busch Light, official beer of the Tri-State Speedway. Greenwell Auto Body in Princeton. You will never be disappointed with Greenwell Auto Body. Cruz Farms out of Fort Branch, your Pioneer Seed dealer. Gady Oil Company of Hopstadt, Shell lubricants for any need or application. Nick's Welding in Poseyville, family-owned, fifth-generation welding and machine shop. Nick's Welding. Koberstein Rental and Sales of Princeton. Rent and sell almost everything for yard, home, industrial. West Broadway in Princeton and in Evansville. Koberstein Rental. Lucas Oil Center of Evansville, in front of Menards on North Green River Road in Evansville and off the Lord Expressway on Evansville's west side. Princeton Auto Park. Hey, if they don't have it, Ron will find it for you. Wright Steel and Service in Evansville, carrying race care aluminum, roll cage tubing, and host of other steel items. Edwards Concrete, quality concrete, construction, and concrete pumping since 1975. Beck's Seeds, largest family-owned seed company in the United States. Kirkwood Family Dentistry, a general practice dental office providing services to all ages. Joe Beard & Sons, call Joe Beard & Sons team of experts, plumbers, and put your plumbing problems behind you. Interstate Batteries of Wabash Valley. Karts Gone Wild. For 18 holes or just getting around the neighborhood, Karts Gone Wild in Hopstadt. Owensboro RV. Nothing beats Owensboro RV travels for vacations and going to the races. Old School Diecast, Tri-State's only diecast store. Zor Custom Homes. Supply the best quality construction you can find right here in Hopstadt. Kiesel Enterprises, storage, handling, drying equipment. Kiesel offers turnkey systems designed for all of these needs. Noss & Sons Trucking and Excavating. Commercial, industrial, and residential excavating. Noss & Sons handles the project. Torsion Group, a leading manufacturer of parts for the garage door industry. Located in Evansville, a great place for an exciting career. Check them out at torsionplastics.com and click on careers. Follow the Kulig Racing Team Torsion cars running up front in NASCAR. Fort Branch Car Wash. Simple concept. Car is dirty, you need it clean. Drive it in and clean it up. Black Equipment Company, your source for construction and material handling equipment, sales, parts, and rentals. Alliance Campaign, drive sober. Shelter Insurance, David Cordray in Princeton. It's smart to get new insurance quotes every year. Shelter Insurance in Princeton. Fast Break Marathon, easy to find, right on Highway 41 in Fort Branch. Superior Ag, an ag cooperative connecting farmers to markets for increased food production. Arab Pest Control and Termite. Same locally owned family company since 1929. We kill pest. Arab Pest and Termite. AN Transport, heavy hauling and flatbed transportation at its best. AN Transport. Brett's Car Care, the #1 retailer of vehicle accessories in the area, located in beautiful downtown Hopstadt. S&C Machine Shop in Hopstadt, the very best in machining technology, part of the machine shops, turned product plus screw nut plus bolt industry, S&C Machine Shops. Welch Tools, distributor of the famous Mac Tool brand, all the high-quality Mac tools you can imagine. Mac Tools since 1938. Check them out at mactools.com. Deborah Korn Foster Care, Indiana's oldest, most experienced foster care service, committing to strengthening family ties. Find out more at deborahkornfostercare.com. Make a difference in the life of a child. Champs Converters in Evansville, the best in torque converters and high-power torque converters, locally owned for over 60 years. Check them out online at champconverters.com. Contact Champ Converters and go for the gold. Bandit Ag Trucking in Otwell, Indiana. Flatbed and dry bulk trucking, Bandit Ag. B&M Automotive Repair. Got trouble with your car or truck? B&M Auto Repair in Oakland City can fix it, no doubt about it. I want to thank our push truck sponsors this evening. Ted Brown's Quaddy Paint and Body Shop, Mac Tools, and our Greenwell Auto Body, Tri-State Speedway wrecker, Captain Hook, out there making it look easy.
Now, race fans, if you could come to your feet. And gentlemen, remove your caps for our opening ceremonies. Race fans, over the last 10 days, we've lost an important former member of the staff here at the Tri-State Speedway, as well as a gentleman who was a starter with USAC for a while, also operated in just about every capacity you could handle at a racetrack. He loved racing. He comes from a racing family. And you'll remember the name of Billy Shipman. And Billy, unfortunately, passed away as a result of a highway accident. And we will miss him. So if you would, a moment of silence, please, for Billy Shipman. And now, with tonight's invocation, track chaplain Phil Hedrick.
Shall we pray together? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity you've given us to be together tonight. But, Father, we just, more than anything, thank you that Billy knew you as his Savior, Father, and that he's with you now. Lord, we just pray again that, as always, ask for safety for our crews, our fans, and our drivers tonight, Father. Lord, we just praise your name for all the many safe miles you've given us. And, Lord, we take it for granted how dangerous it is to get to these racetracks just to do what we love, and it's watch racing. Allow it to be a fun night tonight, Father, and we'll give you the praise and the glory for this night before it even begins. In that name we pray. Amen.
On to the Speedway, it is time for tonight's inaugural 410 Midwest Thunder Sprint Car Race. We are excited to be here. We are happy you are here, supporting the Helfrich family at Tri-State Speedway and all of the drivers who made the trip from all over the country to be here to put on a show for you, the race fan. And we are about ready to go with Spec Racing Engines Heat Race number 1. Alan, would you do me the honors and start with the front row, and I'll do number 2.
Starting on the pole in Heat Race number 1, out of Corydon, Kentucky, he drives the number 10, Eric Gentry. Gentry in 10. Starting to the outside of Eric in the car number 17, racing out of Vincennes, Kendall Rubel. Rubel in 17.
Race fans inside row number 2, driving the 21M out of Marion, Illinois, it is Carson Short. To his outside, fast qualifier in group number 1, car number 75. From Petersburg, Indiana, it is Dustin Beck.
Inside of row 3, coming in to run with us out of Brownsburg, Indiana, he drives the car number 77. In 4B, starting scratch on the field, 10th on the field out of North Vernon, Indiana, in the car number 41, Owen Barr. Barr in 41.
And race fans, we want to give a special thanks to our amazing 2024 sponsors for the Midwest Thunder 410 Sprint Cars. We want to thank SK Powder Coating out of Boonville, Indiana. They are the sponsor of tonight's Hard Charger Award. ChipsTees.com, your hot pit work area sponsor. Hoosier Speed, your quick time overall sponsor. Spec Racing Engines, they sponsor each and every week your heat race winners. Rod End Supply, Hoosier Tire, Willwood Disc Brakes, Seldana Racing Products, Hinchman of Indy, Avco Shocks, Midwest Dyno Service, and of course, Remax Realty.
You know, Sean, in this field, starting third out of Marion, Illinois, a veteran driver, Carson Short. And Carson, the only sprint car driver on hand tonight that has won both a non-wing sprint car event here and the big one. It also captured an upset victory back in 2020 when the World of Outlaws came to town. By golly, Carson Short dusted him, and it's good to see Carson Short back in a race car after an absence of pretty much a season, gone almost last year, and he's back now racing and doing very well.
You know, it's a really cool story. Carson Short and Brady Short, no relation. They've raced against each other probably hundreds of times, but Edwards Concrete, Edwards team, decided they wanted to put them together. So Carson Short and Brady Short, both running the Edwards Concrete 21M and 61M sponsored machines. Race fans at home, we are winding them up right now, blowing up the track just a little bit, make sure everything's good to go for tonight's Spec Racing Engines Heat Race number 1. Good looking car there, the 84 Stan Beetles, as always, one of the premier looking race cars back there in the pit area. And race fans, as they line back up, we want to encourage you tonight, after the races are done, head back there to the pit area. Check out the stars and cars of Tri-State Speedway up close and personal. These drivers have hero cards set up, a ton of merch back there for sale, and they'd love to have you back there in the pit area once the racing action is complete this evening. 8 laps of distance. Top 5 transfer into tonight's show. Race fans, they are going to be shown 1 to go. From Chief Starter Keith Daywig, high atop the flag stand. And your front row, once again, Eric Gentry, Kendall Rubel, side by side. They are not supposed to start till they exit turn 4.
Yellow light flickers out. Starter Keith Daywig. Give them 1 lap to go signal. Car's now down the back straightaway. Move down slowly into turn number 3. Eric Gentry on the pole between 3 and 4. Watch him now.
Great start there, Allen, side by side as they go into turn number 1. Rubel on the outside, Gentry on the inside. Here comes Carson Short. Short pushes forward, going to come up to second spot. Dustin Beck going to try to follow on the bottom side. Gentry fights back hard on the outside, and here comes Beatles now on the outside. Remember, we take the top 5. Those 5 drivers have put a little bit of a distance between themselves and 6th. That is where Travis Berryhill sits right now. For those of you at home, we're showing you the fight for the transfer spot. Out front, it's all the 17 of Kendall Rubel. Kendall Rubel leading the way right now. Second place is Carson Short. Third, Eric Gentry. We're coming to halfway this time. Stan Beatles holding on to 4th. Dustin Beck, the 5th and final transfer spot. Kendall Rubel about 1 lap away from possibly being into lap traffic as he will encounter the 41 of Owen Barr. A big puff of smoke there out of Kendall Rubel, your leader, and he is right there now. He's going to slide at the racetrack, allow Rubel to the inside, but we're still seeing some smoke coming out of the back end of Rubel's machine. Definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as the white flag waves this time by. Carson Short makes short work of Owen Barr. Clean and green down the back straightaway. Kendall Rubel slides into turn number 3, rolls it off at turn number 4, and he is Spec Racing Engine Heat Race number 1 winner. Checkered flags wave. And Spec Racing Engine Heat Race number 1 is in the books. How about it, race fans? Your winner, car number 17, Kendall Rubel. Coming home in second, the 21M of Carson Short. Third place, Eric Gentry in car 10. Dustin Beck in car number 75 is 4th, and Stan Beatles locks it into the show, finishing in 5th. Coming up just shy is car number 77S, Travis Berryhill, the 4, Braden Cromwell, the 4B of Donnie Brackett, Logan Calderwood in the 04, and Owen Barr rounding out your field.
You know, Sean, it's interesting. The top 4 finishers all come from racing families. Kendall Rubel's dad and his uncle, both fine sprint car drivers here at the Tri-State Speedway. Carson Short's granddad and his brother, the Short brothers, put together the legendary number 21 sprint car for Chuck Amati back in the 70s, and Chuck campaigned that car coast to coast. Eric Gentry comes from a racing family quite legendary here in the tri-state area. And Dustin Beck, who finished 4th, his dad was a top modified driver, still is, I believe. We haven't run the modifieds here in a while. So all those guys from racing families. Want to thank Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel once again, offering Ford, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram, and Dodge, tonight's sponsor of racing here at the Tri-State Speedway. All you got to remember is Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel. You're looking for a great deal on a newer used car. Check those folks out.
Race fans, it's time for Spec Racing Engines Heat Race number 2. Lining up on the inside, driving the 76J out of Jasper, Indiana, it is J.J. Hughes. To his outside, driving the 61M out of Mitchell, Indiana, Brady Short.
Going third on the field inside row number 2. He's out of Littleton, Colorado. He drives the car number 15. Been in the area quite a while. Carson Garrett in 15. Alongside Carson Garrett, an Indiana driver in the car number 5, the car number 19 AZ, Mitchell Moles in 19 AZ.
Alan, we're going to see if the crowd's awake or not. Going to be starting inside row number 3. She hails from Dillsboro, Indiana, driving car number 5K, Kayla Rell. To her outside, a long haul from Buckeye, Arizona, Driving car number 47, it's Charles Davis Jr.
And, of course, for you new fans, Kayla Rell won last year's MSCS championship. MSCS, of course, is no more, but the first lady to win a championship, at least in this region, probably not nationally, but what a great job she did last season. Starting 7th on the field out of Frankfort, Indiana, driving the car number 11, Jack Hoyer. Hoyer in 11. And alongside Jack in the car number 3.14. That stands for Pi for you math majors. He's out of Evansville, Michael Daughtery. Daughtery in 3.14.
In your 5th and final roll, driving to the inside, the 2J out of Evansville, Indiana, it is Jeff Pritchett alongside Vincennes, Indiana's 55 of John Ivers. Race fans, we've got them lined up. We've got them ready to rock. Side by side. 8 laps the distance, top 5 transfer to tonight's show. The remainder of the field goes to the B-main. Down the backstretch they roll. J.J. Hughes and Brady Short leading the way into turn 3. They see the orange cone there. That's where we expect them to start. Green flag's out. A great start by both drivers. On the outside is going to be Brady Short hustling the high side. JJ falls into 2nd spot. Kayla Rell falls to 5th and final transfer spot. That is Mitchell Moles now sitting there in 3rd in that 19 AZ. Here comes Littleton, Colorado's Carson Garrett to his inside. Battle for 1st, battle for 3rd on the field. Oh, Carson Garrett. He bobbles and nowhere for Kayla Rell to go. Something went awry on Carson's car. It got very sideways, lost power, and Kayla Rell sliding it into the back end and into the outside retaining wall.
Sean, we've got an interesting battle for the lead. Brady Short, your leader, he started outside of row number 1, but a few years back, Brady Short virtually owned the Tri-State Speedway. He won everything inside here for a couple of seasons, and some of those battles he had with Kyle Cummins are just legendary around these parts. And then second, a young man that came into his own last year here at Tri-State Speedway out of Jasper. What a feature event. His first feature ever here at the Tri-State Speedway, and did it in convincing style, J.J. Hughes. So it should be a good battle for the lead here in heat race number 2.
And you know, full transparency, J.J. Hughes is one of those drivers that we reached out to this offseason when we were trying to decide whether or not we were wanting to launch a brand new 410 Sprint Car Series. Like I said, we had it in mind, the working driver, the ones that work all week, to be able to go out and have a little bit of fun on the weekends. And JJ was one of those drivers that took a meeting with us. We sat down, talked about a bunch of things. He gave us his support and said, I'll be with you as much as I can. And he is doing just that tonight here at Tri-State Speedway. It looks like Kayla Rell is able to get pushed off. She's going to tag the tail of the field. No harm, no foul. And we are 1 lap into this 8-lap heat race brought to you by Spec Racing Engines. Yeah, Brady Short definitely familiar with the high banks of Tri-State Speedway. He's won many, many times, looking to do it again tonight in the Edwards 61M car. Slow and steady, must stay single file till they pass that Remax restart cone. And we are good to go on the restart there. J.J. Hughes about half line up. Mitchell Moles running the bottom line. Carson Garrett trying to take a peek to his inside. Brady's pushing a little bit through 3. Oh, Kayla Rell and Jeff Pritchett make contact. She got into his inside just a little bit, and unfortunately making a little bit of contact is Jeff Pritchett now into the outside wall.
Of course, Jeff Pritchett, a longtime modified racer, started out of the 4-cylinder modified years and years ago and raced the UMP modified for many years, moving into the sprint cars a number of years ago. Jeff, one of these guys like you're talking about, Sean, because takes everything he's got to put that race car on the speedway, and he's got a nice piece there, but he's only able to race it when he can. And he loves to come out here to the Tri-State Speedway and put that number 2 around here. But another one of these guys is just a working man, loves to race sprint cars, puts it together, and out he comes. Did you ever think about doing that, Sean?
Racing?
Yeah.
I can't fit in a race car, Alan.
That's not what I asked. I said, I was not going to mention that.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I tell you what, I've got the bird's eye seat up here in the tower. Been doing this for 20 years. Absolutely love what I do, and I know you feel the same way probably.
Well, I had the bird disease. I'm a chicken. So it never happened.
I've had the chance to dabble around in some of the four-cylinder Hornets or whatever they're called at different racetracks and pure stocks, and had some fun in those back in the day. But I tell you, I'm much more comfortable, feet on the ground, microphone in my hand, and calling the races instead of actually out here trying to do anything else. I tell you, we've got Carson Garrett off the pace over there on the back straightaway. Not exactly sure what's happened there, but that car is not firing. Being told the car just shut off on him, so that is a tough break for him, as he is currently sitting third in our Midwest Thunder 410 Sprint Car points. This is not what he wants to have happen in tonight's heat race. He's got 30 cars here tonight, and he knows very tough competition. Every point matters, so now he's going to have to work his way in through tonight's B-Main Racing. It's still Brady Short, J.J. Hughes, Mitchell Moles, Carson Garrett, and Jack Hoyer, your top five. I apologize. Carson Garrett obviously off the track now, so it's Jack Hoyer fourth. Charles Davis Jr. currently in fifth. And if you are following along on My Race Pass, you can see live time and scoring action on My Race Pass. And race fans, we are 2 laps in, 6 laps remain. Brady Short leading the way, J.J. Hughes second, Mitchell Moles third. Watch him to that Remax restart cone down there in turn number 4. Also, as a reminder, we do not have a Chips Tees hot pit work area during the heat races. That is only during an A-main event. So the Chip Tees hot pit work area closed during the heat race action. Kayla Rell, big slide jaw, oh man, into the outside wall she goes, right in front of John Ivers. She went from the bottom to the top, and my goodness, yellow flag is out. So John Ivers sitting down there sideways, the 5K, the 5K sitting there right in the side of John Ivers right now. Our safety team's going to get over there, get these two cars separated. Hopefully, no harm, no foul.
You know, Sean, I think it's safe to say Kayla having handling difficulties with that sprint car tonight. That car wants to push right up to the outside of the raceway. And for you new fans, when you hear people say push, what that means is they go in the corner, it doesn't want to turn. When they say loose, it means it turns too much and spins out. And so her car was pushing right to the top of the speedway, and not at all in character for Kayla Rell.
I tell you, race fans, if you remember back in qualifying tonight, in group qualifying, she had a big push down in turns 1 and 2 as well. So that car definitely not handling to her liking tonight as we're watching along on Flow for the replay. Just a tough break for John Ivers. Wrong place, wrong time, but it looks like Kayla Rell's left rear flat tire. That will end her heat race here as she will now have to work her way in through tonight's B main. John Ivers going to be able to get pushed off and continue. Three laps down, 5 laps remain, Alan. We're going to try this one more time, reminding the drivers that they can't get to the A main if they all wreck. So going to try to cool some heads, see what we can do here with these last 5 laps. And we're going to lock the top 5 into tonight's A main event.
Brady Short pulls the field down into turn number 3. J.J. Hughes behind him. They come off forward. We go green.
Leading the way is Brady Short still through 1 and 2. Charles Davis gets a little sideways, pushes up the speedway. That was going to allow Jack Hoyer, I thought, to look to the inside, but he didn't have much luck himself. Hoyer holding on to the 5th and final transfer spot. Mitchell Moles Now Mitchell Moles taking a look to the inside of J.J. Hughes. At the line, Moles has it. He'll now set his sights on Brady Short. Driving the 61 in. J.J. going to try to look back to the inside. Going to be nothing doing as he going to turn number 3. Great drive from Moles through the middle of the corner there. White flag. Going to wave next time by. Good run from Moles. We'll have one lap to do it. Brady Short leading the way through 1 and 2. Moles gets a great drive through that corner in 1 and 2. We'll see what he does if he'll settle for second. Off of turn number 4. Watch him now. Brady Short gets the win.
Man, that was a dandy, Sean. Great three-way battle for a number of laps. And you just know that Mitchell Moles had slide job in his head going into turn number 3 on the last lap. Thought the better of it because, like you said, if you don't finish, you don't make the feature.
One of the nice things, finishing in the top 2, that puts him into the redraw. So he still has a chance to start on the pole of tonight's feature event. Race fans, the finishing order there was Brady Short, your winner. Mitchell Moles second. J.J. Hughes third. Charles Davis Jr. fourth. Jack Hoyer holding on to the 5th and final transfer spot. Finishing in 6th was Michael Daugherty, John Ivers 7th, Carson Garrett 8th, Kayla Rell 9th, and Jeff Pritchett 10th.
Want to remind everyone once again about our 50-50 drawing. You can get your ticket in the walkway on either side of the raceway. Our ticket seller down there, easy to spot. And one of our lucky fans wins half the pot. So get down, get yourself a 50-50 ticket. Better yet, get an arm's length. And we will read that number at intermission. And we'll see if they'll get to Sean's stated goal of $1,000.
I feel it, Alan. $1,000. We got enough fans here. Let's go get those 50-50 tickets. Get it up over $1,000. Send somebody home really happy with $1,000 in their pocket.
And if it only comes to $700, you'll make up the difference, right?
Jason in the pit area has you taken care of at the end of the night.
Well, anyhow, get down there and buy your 50-50 ticket. Everybody having a good time here at the Tri-State Speedway? You betcha. It does not get any better than this. We've got sprint cars along with the United States Auto Club midgets on hand, all open wheels all night long. I probably shouldn't say it, but no wings on the premises. Some of us like that, although if they're racing it, I like it. So it really doesn't matter, but that is the case tonight, and great races as well.
And race fans, Spec Racing Engine Heat Race number 3 is on the Speedway inside of row number 1 from Owensboro, Kentucky. Driving car number 36, it's Colin Ambrose. To his outside, driving the 12S from Hobstad, Indiana, it's Aiden Schmidt.
Going third on the field inside row number 2 out of Worthington, Indiana. Call this young man a veteran now. Multi-time feature winner here at the Tri-State Speedway in the 17 GP machine, Jaden Rogers. Rogers in 17 GP. And talk about a gentleman that's won a lot of features here at the Speedway and elsewhere. He drives the car number 5S. He's out of Fort Branch. Chase Stockton in 5S.
To the inside of row number 3, out of Patoka, Indiana, driving car 7S, it's Sam Scott. And in the BC Designs 06 from Avon, Indiana, it's Mike Larison.
Behind the wheel of the car number 87, another Jasper, Indiana driver. Good to see some Jasper folks getting involved in sprint car racing. It's Reed Whitney in 87. And outside of Reed, starting 8th out of Fort Branch in the car number 1S, Nathan Seal in 1S.
Inside row number 5, driving car number 79. From Princeton, Indiana, it is Matt Humphrey. Alongside the 18C from Bloomington, Indiana, it is Cindy Chambers.
You know, Sean, good to see Cindy Chambers back at the Tri-State Speedway. I don't recall if she made very many events last year. I don't remember, but she has raced quite a bit here at the Tri-State Speedway. Great to see him back in action racing with us tonight.
So, Alan, Cindy actually had a string of bad luck last year, unfortunately. She had a couple tumbles last year that ended up putting her out of racing for several months. She got rehab, came back out, and unfortunately that same night, I believe, they totaled the race car up at the Bloomington Speedway. So, rough year for her in 2023. She's excited for the 2024 season. Had a little bit of a rough start opening night over at Paragon Speedway. Took a tumble in that race car after somebody else wrecked in front of her, I believe it was. But she is back ready to go here at Tri-State Speedway.
And if you haven't noticed it, maybe you folks on the back straightaway, check out that sunset over the tree line. below the clouds over off turns 1 and 2. Beautiful scene. Well, we enjoy racing at the Tri-State Speedway, and the best part of that scene is ain't no rain. Didn't look good this morning, yet here we are.
Well, and we'll have a quick second while they push off the 79 of Mount Humphreys. I want to give a special thanks to SK Powder Coating. SK Powder Coating sponsors your Hard Charger Award. For your premier powder coating pleasure, look no further than SK Powder Coating, located in Boonville, Indiana. From that dingy old metal furniture on your porch to your grandma's gas stove, SK can powder coat them all. Check them out on Facebook at SK Powder Coating to see all of their amazing work. I want to thank Willwood Disc Brakes, the official good brake of the race. And they are the official brakes of the Midwest Thunder's 410 series. Since 1977, Willwood Brakes has designed and manufactured the premier brake system for auto racing. From go-karts to military Humvees, Willwood Disc Brakes is the answer you should always stop on. Race fans, we want to thank Hinchman Fire Suits. Hinchman is the official fire suit of your Midwest Thunder 410s. With over 80 years in auto racing since pioneering the common fire suit you see today, Hinchman Fire Suits is an investment that can save your life when only seconds matter. Check them out online for their full selection, and remember, nothing fits like a Hinchman. And we are ready to go side by side, 5 rows deep, 8 laps of distance, top 5 transferred to tonight's show. Colin Ambrose and Aiden Schmidt bringing them down. Looking to the inside, there goes the 17 GP. It is Jaden Rogers at the inside of Colin Ambrose. Rogers going to go from 3rd to 1st, and he will lead lap number 1. Aiden Schmidt on the inside, Ambrose on the high side. Nowhere for Chase Stocking to go. Giving a little bump to Colin Ambrose down the back straightaway, and he'll go high side. See if he can make a way around the 36. He'll be side by side with Stocking. Holding on to 3rd spot that time by. Little push there on the front end from the 5S. The 06 of Mike Larison up to 4th spot now. He got to the outside of Colin Ambrose. We're watching the gaggle of race cars on flow. Throw a blanket over 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Oh boy, big slide there for the 06 of Larison. He holds on to it. Good run so far. They're all able to spread out just a little bit now, getting a little more single file. And Sam Scott now taking a peek to the inside of the 36 of Colin Ambrose. Big slide job there for Sam Scott to the inside of the 06 of Larison. Scott has a position, and that puts him into the 5th and final transfer spot. Up front, though, it is all Jaden Rogers. About a 4.5 second lead as Chase Stocking now able to get by Aiden Schmidt. Rogers sees the white flag wave this time by, so does Chase Stocking. We'll see what the separation is this time. 5.5 seconds separating 1st and 2nd. Jaden Rogers in a league of his own right now as he sees the checkered flags wave. Coming home in 2nd is Chase Stocking, wisely backing out of it to avoid making any contact there with Cindy Chambers right up against that outside wall. Race fans, your winner, the 17 GP of Jaden Rogers, the 5S of Chase Stocking coming home 2nd, Aiden Schmidt 3rd, Reed Whitney coming up and finishing 4th, and Sam Scott, your 5th and final transfer spot. Mike Larison 1 spot out looking in 6th, 36 Colin Ambrose finishes 7th, Humphrey is 8th, Cindy Chambers 9th, and Nathan Seal 10th.
And with another big thank you to Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel, that will conclude the sprint car heat race portion of the evening. And now we get into the United States Auto Club Midgets. And for the Midgets, here's the voice of USAC on Flow, Brian Holbert.
So a couple of minutes here to allow crews to scrape the walls. I want to thank the fire and safety crew from Lawrenceburg coming down and being a part of tonight's program. It's always great when you have people roll in that have the training and the knowledge to make the race and the environment that much safer for these drivers. An inherently dangerous sport, and sometimes things do go awry, so I want to thank them for coming down and being a part of tonight's program. Christy Bim is joining me up in the booth. We have 4 heat races coming up, and again, with that 4 heat race format, 6-car inversion in each of those heat races, and we talk about it nearly every night. At quick qualifying time, yeah, that'll land you in the first 3 rows, but you got to transfer first.
Yeah, I don't want to say it buries you to qualify well, right? Because it's certainly not something, we don't see it very often. It's pretty rare that we see the quick qualifier have a difficult time transferring out of the heat race, especially now that we take 5. In years past, we've only taken 4. So the 5 cars transferring is more forgiving for the high qualifiers. And I'm going to knock on wood because I would hate for Dason Pursley to listen to this later. But so yeah, we don't see it very often. And tonight at Tri-State Speedway, with the sprint cars going first, we've got a much wider racetrack, a lot more room to work with, and the midgets, they're quite a bit smaller.
Going to be interesting to see how it plays out and give these drivers some room to move around. Let's go ahead and set the stage here for Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana, the American Fire Extinguisher, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, Ramco Speedger number 7M, slated for the pole here in your opening heat race. Jacob Denny out of Galloway, Ohio, on the Trench Shoring, Rodella Fabrication, Ed Pink, Link Chassis number 25, set to go next to him. Ryan Timms. First night all week, he finished off the podium last night, was an 11th, had a win and a runner-up leading up to that. He will go for the inside of runner number 2 out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the JBL IWX Mobile 1, number 67. And next to him, it'll be his teammate. That is Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, the Ibach Toyota, KKM Give Back Classic Speedway Toyota Powered Link Chassis, number 97K. Hank Davis going to go from the 5th starting spot, or excuse me, the 14. Pardon me, Jake Andriotti going to go from that 5th starting spot. He's out of Castro Valley, California, driver the Acros Hill Stanton DRC chassis number 14. Next to him, that'll be your quick qualifier, Dason Pursley to Locust Grove, Oklahoma. And the PristineAuction.com, NOS Energy, Toyota Race to Development, CB Industries, number 86. Hank Davis now going for the inside of the next row. Out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma, driver the Belling Racing Equipment, Stanton Triple X chassis number 8. And to his right, it'll be the 11 of Steve Schnapp. He's out of Newburgh, Indiana, driver the Martin's Auto Care Incorporated, Esslinger Spike Chassis, JR1 Racing Oil number 11. And your final starter, slated to be Kyle Jones out of Cannondale, Texas, and the Realty Connect England Machine and Tools, Smiley's Racing Products, Stanton SR11X Spike Chassis number 27. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 of 4 for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Kyle Jones, I mentioned earlier, had the throttle linkage come apart, and when it did, normally it'll shut off. In this case, it actually cammed it over, and it was wide open going into the turn. Got up in the cushion. That ultimately knocked the butterfly shut. Unfortunately, it left him dead in the water. Jade Evadissian had nowhere to go. She launches over the right rear, so that brings her backup car into play. And Kyle said, luckily, it was a hit, but not enough to damage and sideline them.
Yeah, so good news there for Kyle Jones, and of course Keith Kunz Motorsports not having the night last night that they did the prior 2 nights. So Lawrenceburg Speedway and Lincoln Park Speedway, they had 2 of 3 cars on the podium both of those nights. Last night at Bloomington Speedway, a much more difficult and challenging night, as they just ended up getting caught up in some more incidents than in the nights prior. And when you have more cars than every other team, your probability of being involved in incidents goes up significantly. So not super surprising to see that that some of the Keith Kunz cars had a challenging night, and that's just by numbers alone.
No, and you said it perfectly. When you bring enough cars for your own heat race,
that's right.
The laws of probability and odds sometimes are not going to work in your favor. So, and other times they are. But nevertheless, Keith, Pete, everybody down there, I know Bo, he's been thrashing on those things. As we get ready to go here, the Toyota Race and Development Pace Truck working to the front straightaway. The field will begin to fire. And one of the officials having a chat right quick with that Joiner Motorsports number 27. It's like maybe checking the receiver on that thing. Of course, Racing Electronics is the official 2-way radio provider of the United States Auto Club. They also provide the 1-way communication radios that the drivers are required to have, so our competition director can speak directly to the drivers during caution and red flag periods, get the field lined up. That is a major safety innovation for these drivers, where for years it was chalkboards and hand signals. Now with that, the competition director able to get on there and immediately tell them where the yellow or the red is, and we've probably avoided a lot of broken hearts by having that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's really beneficial, and a lot of the times you can tell when somebody doesn't have one or when it's not working, and sometimes they stop working and the drivers don't even realize. So it's something that we're constantly working on, and that's why we did implement the no penalty rule if it's something that you're stopping for the race receiver for.
So the field going to be told on that receiver to go ahead and start making their way around to the Toyota Racing Development pace truck. Dason Pursley, again, your quick qualifier, has won 3 heat races so far this year. That's one more than anybody. Cannon McIntosh at 2. And Logan Seavey picking up his second heat race win of the season. Timms, Denny, Whitley, Dom, and a whole host, all with 1 win so far. 16 total drivers have picked up a heat race win during the course of the 2024 season. 10 laps the distance here in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. Jaden Rogers, normally behind the wheel, that Michael Dutcher Motorsports number 17. He is behind tonight. But for now, behind the wheel, that Ramco Speed Group number 7M.
You heard from Richie Murray earlier that this is only Jaden Rogers' second appearance with the USAC National Midgets, which means if he makes it into the feature tonight, it would be his first start.
So we'll see if he can get it done. He starts with the pole, the Precise Racing Products number 7M. He's going to lead him into turns 1 and 2. Works the bottom side of the Speedway. Denny up to the outside. Now going to try to thread the needle right to the middle. Timms to the inside. Jacob Denny going after the race lead here in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. He will have it. Last year's winner leading Heat Race number 1.
So Jacob Denny, yeah, definitely taking away some lessons from what he learned by winning this race last year. Never an easy win here at Tri-State Speedway, but he certainly learned how to manipulate those corners in a way that he's able to get that run and get enough grip to get off the corner with speed.
Boy, him and Ryan Timms with a good little back and forth battle there. Now 3 wide for the second spot. Timms on the outside. And this track, we see it in the sprint car side. We haven't been here enough in the midget side to really be able to tell as far as our midget week competition, where you get those drivers that for some reason they're good here when everybody else just struggles drastically.
Dason Pursley taking a line significantly lower than everybody else. We got one up and over in turns number 1 and 2. That looks like the 27X of Kyle Jones.
It is. Unfortunately, Kyle Jones, last night he was the launch pad. Tonight he's the one that's launched. So coming to rest over on the outside of turns 1 and 2. So 7 laps to go, and we go back to green. Jacob Denny leading. Safety crews on scene for that number 27. We can see him moving around inside the car, and they will motion away. The medics, the car will start to roll, so the driver is okay after getting upside down. It has been a rough week for Kyle Jones.
I was just going to say, it's really tough when you just can't seem to get things going the right direction. However, it looks like he's back down on the racing surface, and he's not out of the car.
Of course, hard to tell from here exactly what's going on. Drake is down, motioning around that car right now. We'll see if we can take it down and maybe get an update from Drake York.
Well, Brian, everything indeed is straight on the 27X, and just as I say that, the side-by-side coming in back behind him. So Kyle Jones, after getting upside down in turn number 1, set to rejoin Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1.
It's amazing. As fragile as open-wheel cars are, midgets seem to be, they live up to the moniker of the mighty midget.
Yeah, they are resilient.
Extremely. More so than the micros even, as you see him kind of twisting on the knobs there. He's moving the shocks around a little bit.
But I will tell you, the one thing about midgets is they are more resilient when they take some of those hits. However, I think you could ask nearly anybody that works on race cars, and they'll tell you that midgets are the biggest pain and what that they will ever work on.
It's amazing, as the kids start making their way up to the racing ranks, they start in the micros and, they move into the midgets. These have computer systems in them. You're using an OBD2 connector to actually link in with a laptop and look at what your fuel trim is, what your exhaust temperatures are. Then they move into a sprint car, and it's like going from rocket science to here's a pen, try to erase it with this blue marker.
They're just very finicky. So finicky.
That is a very good word. Sprint cars, we do have an ADR meter where we're able to look at it and take the air density ratio, take your relative humidity, your barometric pressure. It kind of figures out your relative altitude. but then you have to do everything manually. It's all mechanical fuel injection, so it's a vastly different rule from kind of where you start to where you go.
So Kyle Jones kind of getting that thing around, making sure everything's straight. Nothing's going to go awry for him.
Drake lied to us. That front bumper's bent. It's all right. We'll give him that one.
Minor details.
It's always tough to say when, it looks like everything's straight because there's always times where...
Actually, that's not bent. That's how it's supposed to look.
Interesting.
It is perplexing, but they're, different styles of them, and that's one of them.
It is naturally askewed. It's always tough to say, it's just bolt-on parts. And I mentioned yesterday where you get in and they actually put the tape to it and find out, no, the frame is diamond about 2 inches in 4 different directions here.
And that happens often. It kind of looks good on the surface, and then you take the body panels off and you're like, holy moly.
Yeah. Find out that Jacob's ladder shouldn't be there.
Or maybe it should.
Yeah. We've seen it at times where a driver will go up and they'll actually flip or they'll hit the wall, and all of a sudden the car actually gets better.
Sometimes when you loosen some of those things up, and that is something that they do in sprint car racing as well, and we can talk about that another time as we're coming back to green.
Jacob Denny bringing it back to green. Ryan Timms, Jake Andriani, Dason Persley, Kel Drake. Those are the 5 drivers sitting in transfer spots right now as they work by the NOS Energy Star Can. Denny going back up top here. Andriani going to give it a close shave on the 67. His work to the back straightway, able to take over that second spot. That forced Timms on the brakes. And that's going to allow the pristine auction dock on number 86 to the inside. He's got 1, he's got 2 up in the second he rolls.
Interesting to see there for Dason Persley. He made all that ground up on the bottom, and that's what I mentioned right before we had that incident with Kyle Jones. He's significantly lower on the racetrack than everybody else is, but then once he gets past the cars he's trying to get by, he moves to the top.
Ryan Timms entering on the inside into turns at 3 and 4. He let the car snake up to the outside. That time he keeps it around the hub, and he loses a lot of ground in that battle for the lead right now. As Persley going to roll in, he's going to go ahead and bring it up to about the mid-groove, exiting turn number 4. So he's bringing that speed in. He's still carrying the momentum now, taking it all the way to the bottom, brings up across the racetrack. New leader to the back straightaway. Maybe Denny coming after him.
So Jacob Denny definitely saw that one coming and was waiting for it, ready for that crossover move, and he gets back in front of Dason Persley in 3 and 4, but Persley at the line.
3 laps remain in this one. Denny coming back to his inside. Persley trying to keep that momentum up, able to kind of tweak the car there. See him get a position, be able to turn back to the inside. Had a great launch. Now both drivers down to the bottom. You've got one trying to go for the slide, the other one protecting and trying to break that momentum, and he does so valiantly as Dason Persley with 2 laps remaining in this one.
Yeah, you see him try to keep it as close to those infield tires as he can to protect that slide job out of Jacob Denny, and then once he knows he has some breathing room, moves back up to the lane that he feels has the most speed on it.
Field around to the white flag, up on the cushion in turns 1 and 2, and right now going to set sail as battle on the racetrack for the 4th spot. The Eibach entry going around the 14 of Andriani as the checker flag is out of this one. Dason Persley going to grab the heat race win. Second going to go to Jacob Denny, Ryan Timms, Kel Drake, and then Andriani ends up being the 5 drivers unofficially moving on. Jaden Rogers, Kyle Jones, Steven Schnapp, and Hank Davis unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th time this season in a heat race competition, driver to Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the pristineauction.com. Speedway powered Spike Chassis number 86. Race fans, give him a hand, Dason Persley, as we take it down trackside.
Dason Persley, your current NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship points leader, as well as your Indiana Midget Week points leader. Now looking at a clean sweep as he was your Honest Abe Roofing quick time qualifier earlier this evening. And Dason, you made a majority of your passes on the bottom, and this car just seemed to have something else on the bottom that no one had. What made the difference down there?
Yeah, I think I've been kind of the only one running the bottom all day long so far, and went out there in hot laps and just kind of started sticking the bottom, and was able just to find something that I think nobody else has kind of discovered yet. And then Logan went down there in qualifying and ran the bottom in 3 and 4, and then went quick time, and then me and Zach were able to go out there and lay down 2 good laps too. So everyone just kind of is leaving it to me just wide open down there. So I don't know if everyone just doesn't feel good down there, or if I'm just feeling really good down there. So we'll just keep on clicking away at this thing, and we needed that heat race win to just kind of keep our mojo going and see what we can do here in the future.
Brian, you mentioned it's Dason Persley's 4th heat race win on the season, which is quite remarkable because tonight is only the 7th race of the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Champion. He's your winner in Simpson Race Products heat race number 1.
Thank you very much, Drake. As Ronda Supply heat race number 2 staging out to the Speedway. Drivers slated for the pole this one. It's going to be KTJ, Kevin Thomas Jr. of Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor Rockwell Security Smith Titanium MPV Express Spike Chassis number 14S. Outside of him, you'll find the driver out of Royersford, Pennsylvania, the Buckwalter Roofing. Royalton Recycling VRP Shocks number 25B. That will be Steve Buckwalter. Justin Grant inside of your second row of Ione, California, the NOS Energy Drink and ViroFab MPV Express Toyota Spike Chassis number 2. And outside of him, Jay Davidissian, driver of the Mobile One, Yahoo Peels. Curb Records IWX Speedway Link Chassis number 71. Next row from the inside, that's going to be Ricky Lewis. He's out of Camarillo, California, driven the Metalloid One Performance Products. Warner Welding, Acro Lube, Grease Stanton, DRC Chassis number 54. And next to him, Zach is going to be the 89 of Zach Weigel. He's out of Belpre, Ohio, driven the Dave Noss Auto Outlet, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis number 89. As we look to your final row from the inside, it will be Ethan Mitchell. Little Bundy behind the wheel of the Bundy Bill Honda, Spike Chassis, Diet CNC Tooling number 19M. And your final starters slated to be Tom Dunkel out of Manistee, California, driving the Inland Rigging. Oak Hill Post Uncle Farms, number 17A. As the car is fired, and they will start to make their way around to the Toyota Racing Development pace truck, I believe Drake will have our update.
Thank you so much, Brian. Ricky Lewis set to start 5th here in this Rod End Supply Heat Race number 2. A really good qualifying effort for that Ford Kings Racing 54. And throughout the season, they've kind of had more than their fair share of mechanical issues, specifically with the motors, and they've went through a couple already this season that are sitting in the shop waiting to go off to a rebuild. And last night in the feature event, Ricky's motor broke a rocker arm. So what the team did when they got back to the shop last night is took a rocker arm off one of the motors that was waiting to get repaired and put it on this motor. So a bit of a hodgepodge effort for this motor tonight for Ricky Lewis. He starts 5th.
See if that will hold together here, as sometimes it's always kind of a gamble when you do that, because there's always, you never know where there's maybe some little shavings in there. But I know Westfall, everybody on that group going through it with a fine-tooth comb. We'll see how it holds on as we go to green. Buckwalter going to try and take off of the race lead, takes it across the racetrack. Bottom side open for KTJ. Can't take advantage of it, though. He's going to fall to second, now going to fall to third. Boy, Weigel throwing it in deep on the inside, brings it up right next to the 14 to the front straightaway.
Between Justin Grant, Jade Avidissian, Kevin Thomas Jr., and Zach Weigel, all kind of fighting for what is that second, third, fourth position. Jade Avidissian in that moment just gets up over the left rear of Kevin Thomas Jr., but there's a lot of accelerating and braking that was going on in that first 2 laps.
A lot of moving around going on here. The Yahoo number 71 back to the inside here, trying to look for room to run. Does she have the run to the back straightaway? She does not. She rides in the final transfer spot for the time being. She'll have Ricky Lewis breathing down her neck as they work through turns 3 and 4. Up front, though, Zach Weigel trying to set up Steve Buckwalter for a pass in 3 and 4. No dice there. Buckwalter, good momentum onto the back straightaway. He will lead by about 5 car lengths. They work into turns 3 and 4. Weigel again down to the bottom, not able to make hay around to the front straightaway as they click off lap number 4.
You saw Jade Avidissian come across the nose of Kevin Thomas Jr. there, and he, knowing this racetrack so well, cut the car just significantly more than everybody else in the corner to get that run off the banking, and that is what has won him so many races here at Tri-State Speedway with the Ansel USAC National Sprint Car Series.
Yeah, we talked about that disparity in the sprint cars where you got some drivers that are just very, very good here, and he is the king of that right now as they work onto the back straightaway. Ricky Lewis was right hot on his heels, but a little bit of a bobble there in the cushion in 1 and 2. Going to lose some ground as up front. Battle for the lead shaping up once again. Here comes Weigel. He's going to duck to the inside. Brings it across the nose of the 25. Buckwalter coming back after him. Can't get there, though. Zach Weigel, your new leader.
Steve Buckwalter up on the top side of the racetrack, and Zach Weigel kind of sliding across the middle there, and Justin Grant is now in the picture for fighting for second.
Boy, and Buckwalter not getting the heat race win. That's going to cost him on the lineup here when we look into your feature event. Zach Weigel, though, he was your second quick qualifier up into the race lead as Buckwalter now going to fall to third. Justin Grant going to make his way by in 2.
The battle is on for the transfer position as Ricky Lewis has caught the 14S of Kevin Thomas Jr., who is also still in tow with the 71 of Jade Avidissian.
Lab coat's going to fly here in the front straightaway to the inside. Oh, Avidissian, the 71. The car looked like it died going into 3 and 4, and she got a restart. Compliments of the right nerf iron to the 14.
And you see that happen a lot. We've seen it several times this year with the Sprint Car Series as well, where normally the car who does kind of hit that stall and get sideways isn't the one who ends up suffering for it.
So unfortunately, Kevin Thomas, that right side hit, going to have a little bit of a stiff elbow there as he gets done with the night's racing action. So you realize it comes to the frame and you see the car just like it quits. and so easy to do in the midget. When they go in and they kind of stomp the brakes like that, it'll just lock it up, and you can see the rear tires, they were locked.
And we see that here, especially at Tri-State Speedway, pretty often, and, across series as well. It's not uncommon to see that at Tri-State Speedway. I even saw it a couple times with the World of Outlaws during their event here just a couple weeks ago.
So unfortunately, KTJ, he is pit side, and we're going to go back to green to this one. 2-lap dash to the finish. Past the NOS Energy Star Can. We'll see if Buckwalter can maybe take advantage of the restart. Pick its way back forward, Evadissian. Able to continue rolling here as that's going to move the 54 Lewis up into a transfer spot. Checkered flag out, and it will be Weigel. Grabbing the win, Justin Grant in second. Buckwalter in third. Evadissian and Ricky Lewis. Those 5 drivers unofficially moving on. Mitchell, Dunkel, and Thomas unofficially rounding out your field. In the books, and your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Belpre, Ohio, the Dave Noss Auto Outlet, CB Industries number 89. Give him a hand, Zach Weigel, as we go down to Drake.
It's a CBI sweep so far in heat race competition. The 2023 USAC Midwest Thunder D2 Midget Champion. Zach Weigel getting it done in Rod and Supply heat race number 2. And Zach, your teammate Dason Persley utilized the bottom just like you did to win his heat race. Was that the original game plan for you, or did you maybe have somebody in the staging lane tell you knew what Dason was doing, then maybe you changed up your game plan there?
No, I could see what he was doing in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 I just had to figure it out. Chad's got these things absolutely dialed in, and I think me and Dason both have a really good shot at the feature win.
Zach Weigel, your winner in Rod and Supply heat race number 2, his first on the season.
Thank you very much, Drake. TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Making his way out to the Speedway. Jeff Schindler atop of the list, out of Evansville, Indiana, driving the United Mechanical Felker Spike. Karen's Custard and Hamburgers number 8X. Next to him, set to be Kayla Rell out of Dillsboro, Indiana, driving the Davis Brothers, Hawkins Hardwood Floors, Farmville Honda Spike Chassis number 4K. Next row from the inside, the 8W Chase McDermott out of Springfield, Illinois, driving the Woodland Auto Display, Josh Ford Motorsports number 8W. And to his right, you'll find Hayden Reinbold out of Gilbert, Arizona, the AME Electrical, Stanton Spike Chassis, and Race Sports number 19AZ. Gavin Miller out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Sound Gear Toyota Racing Development, Eibach number 97. He'll go from the 5th starting spot. And the driver lining up in 6th. He was your 3rd quick qualifier. Out of Sutter, California, driving the Indy Fuel AP Driver Development, Prime 47, Drexel Interiors, Abacus Racing number 57. That is Logan Seavey. Out of Morgan Hill, California, the Kaiser Advanced Shock Speedway Toyota Spike number 40. That's going to be Blake Brannon in your final starter. Comes to you out of Aurora, Colorado, driving the Simpson, Amsoil, PXB Racewear, Buckeye Welding Supply, Cappy Mason Racer number 91. That is Lance Bennett. That'll be your scheduled lineup here in TJ Ford's heat race number 3. 33 drivers, 10 states, 2 countries. Great turnout. I mentioned earlier the largest turnout this track has seen during Indiana Midget Week competition. And of course, we got one more round to go. Tomorrow we head up to Kokomo.
One of my favorite things about Tri-State Speedway is the way that the crowd always shows up. They never miss. They never miss here.
Absolutely fantastic crowd. And of course, you got Vendor Row on the back straightaway there, and everybody showing up in force. So Kokomo tomorrow, then we kick off Eastern Storm. We'll talk about that a little bit more there. We had it on the screen there for a second for you to check out the upcoming schedule. Sprint cars coming back to action. So the Toyota Racing Development pace truck going to scoot away from the field to make its way down into the inside of the Speedway. And Schindler, Rell on that front row, McDermott, Reinbold, row number 2, Miller, Seavey, Brannon, Bennett. NOS Energy Sarcan, the starting point for these drivers. One more heat race to go after this as they work up a turn number 4 to the green. Kayla Rell, a little bit of a rough going in her sprint car heat race. A good start, though, here in the midget heat race. And she will take off with the race lead. Look out. We got bumpers coming together and tires tapping over in turns 3 and 4, and 2 drivers are going to come to a stop. Caution light going to blink on.
So once again, that's Logan Seavey in the 57, who also had a similar fate last night in his heat race. Went on to win the thing, this time hopefully able to push back off and do a similar similar thing, be able to recover from this incident. But that was an aggressive move there, going into turn number 3 on lap number 1.
Thankfully, Logan stayed upright this time. Not the case last time. We'll see. Get a look at it here, and rolling in and trying to throw that slide on the 19. That was the 8 of McDermott, as I believe a report from down trackside.
Yeah, Brian, I quickly talked to the team earlier today, and they told me the only crash damage that 57 car sustained after that flip at Bloomington last night was just a little bit of decaling on the left side sun visor. And it's been an interesting couple weeks for that team overall, the crew guys. I don't want to name names, but somebody's suitcase flew out onto the highway, and there was clothes scattered everywhere. But fortunately, other than last night, it's been a pretty tame Indiana Midget week for those guys. I'm just going to leave it there, Brian.
So they're going to stack back up and come back to the green this next time by Logan Seavey, Lance Bennett go to the back of this one. That puts Hank Davis and Kayla Rell on the front row of TJ Ford's heat race number 3. So coming to green, Kayla Rell on the outside, Hank Davis on the inside. Kind of some debate there on when to fire. Kayla Rell is going to have the advantage.
So good start on the first attempt, good start on the second attempt. Rell going to take off with it once again. See if the fates are a little bit kinder this time into turns 3 and 4 for everybody. So far, so good. Rell going to lead lap number 1. Reinbold going to run in that second spot. McDermott, Miller, Schindler right now sitting in transfer spots when they came across the line. Keep an eye on the 57, though. He is moving already up into a transfer spot.
So Chase McDermott on the outside of Hayden Reinbold. Hayden's going to hold down the 3rd place position right now as Gavin Miller 4th, Logan Seavey 5th in the transfer position.
You know what they say when they mean drive angry? That's what we're seeing right now from the back of the field. Seavey is putting that thing anywhere he can possibly find some grip right now. He's already up in a transfer spot, so he's in the show, but he's wanting to make it back to the front of this thing right now as he is going hot and heavy after the 97 as well as the 19 AZ. Gets a run to the inside of Reinbold. Reinbold able to beat him to the punch, rolls to the middle, now looks to the bottom of the 97. That'll be the fight for the 3rd position. He had it last time by, but here comes Seavey. Wow, what a slide from him.
That was a decisive move by Logan Seavey, and a smart one at that, to be able to come across the nose of Hayden Reinbold. Absolutely zero contact and not a whole lot of time to do it that well.
Not sure if he could have put a piece of paper between them there for a second as he's up back up to that 3rd spot. Kayla Rell, though, what a run for her in this heat race. And she takes off with the lead from the word go in this one. A 5-time winner here with the Midwest Mini Sprint Association. Last night finished 16th at Bloomington. Lincoln Park was 4th in the semi-feature event. We got less than 4 laps remaining. Chase McDermott chasing that 2nd spot by a little under a half a second last time on the start-finish line, closing it up considerably, though, as looks like he is there, might take a shot in the Woodland Auto Display entry.
Pretty good choice there for Kayla Rell, as Chase McDermott wasn't quite able to get as much speed around the outside of her as he was on that last lap where he could have thrown a slide job, and we might see it happen here coming out of turn number 4. He does, and Kayla Rell gets a little sideways trying to avoid.
She about locked the car up, and you see it kind of stumble and finally clean out and go, but she's going to fall back to the 4th spot. Oh, man, she's got more trouble. Kicked her sideways once again, and it's from feast to famine there. She's going to fall out of a transfer spot, and that will hand McDermott the lead. Seavey up into 2nd, and right now McDermott, he has got clear sailing onto the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4.
Looks like Kayla Rell has some front-end damage on that one, as Chase McDermott's going to take the checkered flag in TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Logan Seavey going to come across 2nd, Hayden Reinbold 3rd, Gavin Miller 4th, Jeff Schindler 5th, Kayla Rell, Blake Brandon, and Lance Bennett going to round out the final 3 positions without a transfer.
So he is going to roll it down, and he's going to catch up with Drake here in just a moment. Driver of the number 8W. Race fans, give him a hand. Chase McDermott picking up the heat race win.
Chase McDermott getting the job done in TJ Ford's heat race number 3 aboard this beautiful Woodland Auto Display Josh Ford Motorsports number 8W. Chase, a slow and steady progression to the front, but that battle between you and Hayden Reinbold was something. There was a couple of close calls in there. When you're racing for 2nd like that, obviously you want to get to the front for the heat win and how much it means, but are you almost kind of setting yourself up for the position you were in by racing that hard for the 2nd spot?
Well, you know, as first I want to say, you know, that move down there into 3, that was 100% my fault. So I apologize to Hayden and the AME guys and Seavey and the Abacus guys. You know, I'm not here to wreck race cars, so I apologize to them. But, you know, our car was really good there. Just took us a little bit to get to the front. And, you know, we had to win that heat race there to rescue me from qualifying. But thanks to Jimmy, Charlie, and Jet back in the pits, this one-way spike is ripping pretty good right now.
Chase McDermott collects the win in TJ Forge Heat Race number 3.
Thank you very much, Drake. 50-50. Looks like the winner's pot is up to $415. The goal is to get it to $1,000 here tonight, so dig deep. Buy them tickets. You can't win if you don't play, just like the lottery. You just got a better chance of winning here.
Much smaller population.
Goes back to that whole odds thing.
That's right.
So Car IQ Heat Race number 4. Going to see the yellow lights come on. That'll be the indication of fire. And Michael Pickens out of Auckland, New Zealand. The Inferno Armor, Stanton Spike, Mount Stout Motorsports, number 54NZ. Going to be on the pole this one. Next to him in 7. That is going to be Adam Taylor out of Wheatfield, Indiana, driving the Smoky Speed Shop, Chevy V4 powered, Spike Chassis, Taylor Racing, number 7T. Next row for the inside. We'll move down the alphabet a little bit to the driver to Pocahontas, Illinois, the American Fire Extinguishers, Precise Racing Products, Ramco Speaker, number 7P. That's going to be Zach Dahm. And lining up to his right side, going to be Cannon McIntosh out of Bixby, Oklahoma, the Gear Wrench TRD Mobile 1 Curb Records, number 71K. Taylor Reimer, the 25, new badging on that car. She's out of Bixby, Oklahoma, the Buzz Balls, Mobile 1 Toyota Curb Records, number 25K. And the 3G going to line up next to her, Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, the Oshwegan Speedway Elite SR11X Spike Chassis, number 3G. Final row from the inside, he is out of Peoria, Arizona, driving the Avanti windows and doors. Stanton Spike, number 3P, that's going to be Drake Edwards. And your final starter, Adam Bollier, out of Rushville, Indiana, driving the PortaPike.com Lucky Center Technologies, number 4. That'll be your lineup here in Car IQ Heat Race number 4. Pickens in the 54, your pole sitter. A little bit of a rough go here. He's got a pair of 14th place finishes. Lawrenceburg and Bloomington, 18th at Lincoln Park. Reimer was involved in that heat race crash yesterday where that car looked like a rocket coming off of the launch pad. Everybody in front of her got stacked up. She had nowhere to go. So having to do some repairs and a little bit of rebadging and rebranding on that thing.
Kyle Cummins starting to Taylor Reimer's outside, and he's a previous winner of this event just a few years ago. His one and only USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget victory. I remember at the time he said, I didn't want to win my first midget race at Hobstadt because I was afraid everybody was going to think it was a fluke. So we're going to come to green and see if Kyle Cummins can do it once again and prove that it is indeed not a fluke.
I was about to say the best way to prove it wasn't is just to go out and do it again as we go back under green flag racing action here. Final heat race of the night on track. And Field going to barrel off into turns 3 and 4. He got about half of them up top, the rest of them down to the bottom. Almost 3 wide for the top spot. It will be the 54, Michael Pickens, who has the advantage. Challenge from Zach Dahm coming to the inside. Can't quite get there in 7.
Zach Dahm doing Zach Dahm things and really hugging the infield tires of this one, making up some pretty good ground on the 54 NZ of Michael Pickens. He's going to have him at the line.
So Zach Dahm yesterday, don't think I ever saw him where he didn't have a tape measure in his hand going around just trying to figure out that car, what was going on with it. He said it felt like it was so tight. He had to drive it so hard it was making it loose. Well, now he is planting that right rear, and it is digging for all it's got right now. Kyle Cummins up at the second. Michael Pickens shuffle back to third. Cannon McIntosh and Taylor Reimer right now with the final transfer into the feature. She's being chased by Adam Taylor.
Taylor Reimer really the only car in the top 5 who's utilizing the top side of the racetrack. Everybody else somewhere between the bottom and middle. She's making up some good ground on both Michael Pickens and Cannon McIntosh.
You know, she's not going in and cheating the cushion. She's going in on the cushion, and she is making it work as she blows to the outside of the 71 into turns 3 and 4. The 54 to her inside. Pickens from the front all the way back to the 5th spot right now. She's going to try it again over in turns 1 and 2. That time went up and cheated it just a little bit, but it's going to be the 71K with the advantage on the back straightaway.
Surprised that Cannon McIntosh hasn't moved up quite yet to take that line away, but Taylor Reimer might have an opportunity here going into turn number 1 and 2.
As you said it, he moved up the track of the front straightaway, but he dives back to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Kind of shifting his line, giving himself some room to kind of pitch and move the car around the racetrack. Reimer back up to the cushion off of turn number 4, trying to get a run to the front straightaway. Cannon bringing it up to the wall and taking that line away and killing her momentum as they work into turns 1 and 2.
Cannon McIntosh going to continue to have the advantage over Taylor Reimer and going to take the bottom away from her here so she can't slide. Taylor Reimer, all the way almost to the wall coming out of turns number 3 and 4, going to keep pursuing the 71K.
That time not close enough to really have to back out of the throttle as we check back up front. Zach Dahm, like you said, doing Zach Dahm things. Here we go. Reimer this time going to go to the inside. She says, you know what? I'm tired of getting cut off in traffic here. I'm going to go ahead and put the slide on you as they're side by side at the line. They nearly tapped tires at the white flag.
Taylor Reimer had the advantage, but she gets up over the cushion and stumbles. She's going to lose some ground there.
Checker flag going to fly in this one, and it is Zach Dahm. in 7, picking up the heat race win. Kyle Cummins crossing at 2nd. Cannon McIntosh ends up at 3rd. Taylor Reimer in 4th, and Michael Pickens holds on to the transfer spot in the feature event. Adam Taylor, Drake Edwards, and Adam Bolliard unofficially rounding out your field. It looks like he might have ran the Gremlins off for the time being anyway. Winner in Car IQ Heat Race number 4 at Pocahontas, Illinois, the American Fire Extinguisher Speedway Toyota King Chassis, the BLRH Group number 7P. Race fans, give him a hand, Zach Dahm. Kyle Cummins in 2nd, Cannon McIntosh, Taylor Reimer, Michael Pickens, Adam Taylor, Drake Edwards, and Adam Bolliard unofficially rounding out your field. He is going to roll it down to the front straightaway, and Drake going to get a word with our heat race winner.
Zach Dahm collects his 2nd heat race win of the 2024 season here in Car IQ Heat Race number 4. Zach, for most of the heat races, even though we saw drivers win the heat races on the bottom, it seemed like the top line was still preferred, and you kind of led the train there late down to the bottom side of the speedway. So what changed that makes the bottom better than the top now?
I don't know. I just can't run the top. So, yeah, I'm definitely a bottom feeder. So just trying to get tight enough for this place, and I figured if we can get good on the bottom there and we can try to score it up through there in the feature a little bit. We didn't qualify very well, so we'll try to get this thing a little bit better and see what we can do.
That's about the most Zach Dahm answer you'll get. Zach Dahm chasing his 2nd career Indiana Midget Week victory, his only one way back in 2013 at the Berg.
Thank you very much. We continue rolling on as sprint cars back out to the Speedway for their B feature event.